Flip it on. Boom. I never do the intro. Right. So I'm just going to say welcome to Contra Gentiles, Season 4, Episode 8.
Gotta get the flavor in there,
yeah.
You know? Contra Gentiles.
Contra Pinti Gentiles.
It's a telenovela on Telemundo, you know.
Yes,
Channel
yeah.
Is it Channel 51 all over the country, or is it just in like South Florida's 51?
I don't even know what channel it's here. It changes all the fucking time. It depends what service you get. But no, I don't think that's over the country.
I don't know.
When I was in Pennsylvania, it was different.
Yeah, because I'm in South Florida. I'm on DirecTV. It's on Channel 51. It's always been. Oh, you're not even getting the fucking glasses out.
That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
I'm going all out tonight, man.
Going all out. Grant's not here. There's no one to keep in control.
Yeah.
I'm guessing the wife's not in the studio.
No.
It's boys' hour.
Oh, it is.
Boys' hour.
This is gonna be good. This is gonna be the best bullshit hour ever. Yeah, the audio looks great.
Oh, dude, I know. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I've been depending on what I'm doing, I've been following the World Cup either on Fox Sports or Telemundo. And if I have to if I'm walking around doing something, I don't understand the Spanish for shit because my Spanish is not even passing. I've been anti-Grant. Yeah. I've tried learning Argentinian family. I can't speak Spanish. It's awful.
Yeah.
So I can't understand these guys, even though they're this year is pretty clear. It's like they got one Mexican, one Brazilian for some reason.
And then they got the classical guy. I forgot his name, but he's the one that made famous the screaming goal. He's from Uruguay, I believe.
Claudio Borges.
Was that his name? I think so. Yeah. But he's
the Argentinian guy.
Yeah, the Argentinian guy. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. Claudio Borges is goal.
Yeah.
And that's what annoys me is the American and the English announcers, they want to do because they can't do that.
They
don't have it in them to do it.
No.
So they want to try to talk about talk about the player's background, what's on the line.
Yeah.
But no one cares.
No.
Who cares? I want to hear I want to hear them butcher the names. I want to hear them yell when there's a fucking goal. I want to hear the hype when they're in the fucking goalie's box and they're about to make that kick.
Yeah.
I want to hear either the hype or the disappointment. It's painful because if I can't watch in the eye, I have to listen to the American guys announce so I know what's going on. But it's never as fun.
No, yeah, I can't watch it in English, man. The Brits I could kind of watch because I got a little used to it, but the first World Cup I ever saw was with my dad in 1990 World Cup. So I was 8 years old at that point.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was the first one I ever really watched.
You're fucking old.
Yeah, I know. And so
first one I watched was 2010.
Yeah. And back then, it was like most sports. It was a little bit more different. It was, I think it was a little more intense. Yeah. I remember there was this one match when the Argentina lost and they were walking off the pitch and they had blood all over their shirt. And it was just there. You know what I mean? I was like, that's pretty fucking badass. And then the 94 World Cup I remember the most because that was when I was a little more developed. You're 8-year-old mind, but once you're 12 years old, you're like, fuck, you remember a lot more. And so that one, and so I always watched it in Spanish just because my dad watched it. I watched it with him first and then I continued to watch it with him. And so the first time I ever heard an English announcer was actually in 1998. And
that's the year I was born.
Yeah, was it? That's the first time, and so the first time was actually because of video games. We're playing FIFA, and the first FIFA I got was 90. Well, not the first one, but the first 3D one with announcers because I got it for the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, but there was no announcers back then. You just played, and so that was the first time I heard it. I was like, oh, that sounds kind of dull. And then they had an option to change it to a Mexican. I was like, I would rather listen to the Mexican guy. Yeah, and and so it doesn't seem like soccer to me if it's not in Spanish.
No, that's the thing. Even to me, so you know how Argentinians are. They're a special breed of people.
Yes, yeah.
They're very, very prideful. So if you're not speaking their way of Castellano, then you better speak another fucking language because they are very up their own asses.
Yes, yeah.
So it's not like I didn't grow up in like a Spanish speaking household. Like, sure. So, my grandma, she only speaks Spanish. And I don't need to communicate with her because abuelitas, they just need to talk. You don't need to talk to them. They need to talk to you.
Right,
so
yeah.
I just have to know the very basics of what she's saying. Like, sí, no, sí, pero ¿qué vas a hacer? ¿Qué vas a hacer? Just, let her keep rambling.
Yeah.
So I don't actually need to know whatever I learned in schools or on language apps, never good enough for my mom. My sisters are the only ones who can actually like communicate within the family. So I didn't grow up in like a Spanish household, but even to me as well, it's like, yeah, if the soccer is not with a Spanish announcer, what am I watching this for?
Yes, yeah.
Because that's so much of the hype. Because if you're not playing it,
right, yeah,
like you've talked about it on air before.
Yeah,
playing it is a whole nother fucking
it is.
level.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Because when I went to school, we had a Mexican kid, we had a British kid, we had some French kids. So
yeah, beautiful.
They were all like,
the
Mexican kid especially.
Yeah,
he was the biggest fucking show off. He had all the footwork.
Yeah,
he did all the cool little tricks. Fucking asshole. It was always the striker.
yes, yeah, that was me.
I fucking. Oh man! And now that kid, he goes to like some fancy ass fucking medical school. Fuck you. Fuck you.
The overachieving spick. Yeah, that definitely sounds like me. I was the asshole.
I know. Oh man. And the guy's a good kid. He's a good kid, but he's Mexican. So
I know it's different.
Mexican Jew.
Is he really?
I went to Jewish school, man.
You did?
Like,
shit.
I went. Yeah, that's my fucking background. I went to a religious Jewish school.
Yeah.
For kindergarten to 9th grade, so 10, 11 years of my life.
So do you know Hebrew better than Spanish?
No. No, they tried to teach us Hebrew.
Yeah.
Like, this place was fucking weird, man. This place was weird. So they tried to teach us Hebrew. I did not retain fucking any of that.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So like when I got back into religion, so this was my journey. I had like a little bit of an experience when I was doing a prayer, and it was like overwhelming fucking guilt.
Oh wow.
Like just the worst sense of anxiety I've ever felt. Like probably the closest thing to hell on earth I could ever experience. It was fucking terrible. I did not want to speak to anyone for like 2 days after that.
Oh yeah.
And I took it upon myself because like Jews have this thing. They're like Protestants. Reading the Old Testament is like up there. You have to do it.
Right. Yeah.
So I took it upon myself. I got through all of the Pentateuch, and I got up to, let's see, I read through Isaiah. I read through Judges. I read through 1 and 2 Kings. I don't remember which prophet I stopped reading at, but man, I try to look at the Hebrew version, and literally about not even 10% of it stuck. It sucks. Like, I don't know. How's it in Catholic school? You guys learn like the scriptural Latin, right?
Yes. Well, not all Catholics
like, you
do.
Remember it or?
And so the way that it really depends how conservative, I guess you should say, the school is, or how old fashioned it is. And so the main thing is that if you just go to a regular ordinary Catholic school, you're not really going to learn Latin or ancient Greek. I went to a very small one that was very traditional, and so I learned Latin and ancient Greek, and then we read we didn't really read the Bible in Latin or anything, but we read like Aquinas, and then we read the ancients, and then we did read some of the Bible in ancient Greek, and so I think we tried to go like to the original for the New Testament and everything. But I know a lot of kids that went to Catholic school, but they didn't learn any of that. They just, just fucked off most of the time.
Yeah. I've heard some things about like Catholic school versus Catholic school. And And I
Yeah.
mean, the Jewish schools are the same way. Like, you have the ones where you actually learn how to be like a real religious Jew, whatever the
Yeah.
fuck that is.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, whatever the fuck that is, I don't know, man. Like, coming back to it and looking at it, and then looking at it through someone who wants to convert, I look back and I just don't see what the fuck they're practicing.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know.
I often
It's
thought of that with
very
with the contemporary Jews. It's just that they're very. It seems like they're more close to the way Mohammedans exist, where they're almost it's almost like a very strange, heretical, anti-Christian denomination of Christianity, because they don't have the temple, they're not doing Holocaust lamb sacrifices anymore, right? They're not doing any of this stuff. They did mix with the Khazarian people, and they kind of started a new movement of Judaism, because at that point they were pretty much dead. And then when they were competing against the Mohammedans and then the Byzantine church, they were kind of physically they were centered in between those two, and they fought off the Mohammedans really well, and so they allied with the Byzantines, but they didn't want to convert to Christianity, and so they adopted a lot of the nomadic tribes of Jewish people, and they adopted the religion, kind of made it to what it is now, without the sacrifices, without any of that. And so it's a very strange heretical Christian sect now. That I think people just don't really think of it that way. They think they when you say Jew, they think of Jesus and the apostles, or like Moses and Abraham. It's like, but technically these aren't the same people anymore. Yeah.
No, it's really not. And like when you look at it historically, like Jews had the contemporary Jew had a very easy time in the North African Muslim empires.
Yes. Yeah.
They had a very, very easy time because Maimonides, who is still regarded as one of the top Jews and really just Platonist. So,
yes, yeah.
What can you say about that?
Well, what years did he exist? Was it around the same time as Aquinas, or?
Yes, if I remember correctly, it's probably, I think, post Aquinas. In fact.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Because I think he was 13 or 1400s. Oh, no. So born 4th of April, 1138, and died in 1204. So
yeah, it's around the same time. Yeah.
Contemporary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of contemporary. And he had some troubles with the European Jewish community because he published a guide for the perplexed, which was applying Platonic ideals to Judaism. And I think the European Jews accused him of being an atheist, but at the time, I don't know what the fuck I don't know what the European Jews were. That's the weird thing. Like, European Jews had their own form of excommunication, even though there was no centralized authority and no communion.
Yeah. Keep going.
So stupid.
Yeah.
Like, Spinoza also gets an excommunication, and
did he?
It's so beyond me because literally everything he did is just like what's in every form of Kabbalistic Judaism today.
Yes,
which is a very significant sect. So I don't know, but yeah, the Jews had a very easy time in the Muslim empires. I wonder why.
Yeah.
Could it be that there's a lot more similarities between them?
Yes.
Possibly. All they had to do was pay a tax, and they both got to be merchants and all that shit. But when they're in Christian European countries, it always confuses me because you look at Poland. Poland, historically and to this day, a very Catholic country.
Yes.
They've had religious freedom laws since the 1300s. And Jews lived very easy lives there in self-segregated communities. They lived in their little, what's called shtetls.
Okay, yeah.
They never did anything until the time that the Germans invaded in the 30s and the 40s. They just like Fiddler on the Roof. I've also never finished that fucking movie, musical, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
But they lived very like isolated, and that's what kept them in Poland for so long versus other countries. That they didn't intermingle with all these things. Because
Right.
you're probably more well versed on the Inquisition than I am, but even where I'm at is like I don't see where the issue was in the Inquisition.
Yes. No, I'm the same way.
I
And
don't like. It always baffles me. It always baffles me. And maybe this is just a simple thing, but if these people are coming to tell you that you can eat all the things you've never eaten, you can have your bacon cheese sandwiches. You can eat all the pork, especially in a place like Spain. You're in Spain, you're not going to eat pork.
Yeah.
You can eat all those things. They're coming to tell you, like, you're free from all of these things that you've self-imposed on yourself because Christ fulfilled the law.
Yeah.
He is the New Testament. Like,
yeah.
and you're gonna hold on to all these old things for whatever reason, to the point that you're gonna allow yourself to be burnt on the stake because, like, what was that? Because I know it's bullshit, the burning on the stake. Like, they didn't just burn you for being a Jew. What was it? Like, you converted, but kept practicing in secret, so you pretty much violated like your own oath.
Yeah. No, I get what you mean. Yeah. No, yeah. I think the whole like.
Yeah.
I don't know, like that entire history, for some reason, I think many teachers just don't really teach it. I think that's the part that I find kind of weird too. Like, you just have to learn on your own and read on your own, all that shit. But yeah, I just know, I think a lot of the parts of history that I learned of that was just from me researching my own self. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of technical issues here.
No problem.
But you could keep going.
No, they really don't teach that. Like, it's funny going to Jewish school. The story of Columbus gets intermingled with the Jews being exiled out of Spain.
Oh, dude, yes, yeah.
Like, yeah, it did overlap. And I guess he did write some things in his journal about it, but is this really what we're gonna focus on? Like, Columbus sails to the fucking new world and your concern is the Jews?
Yeah.
It's always insane to me. Like, I don't know. I'm also coming off family dinner with a Jewish family, so it always rings in my head when this happens. Because, take for example, my sister is obsessed with Kanye right now for the opposite reasons.
Why?
He is convinced that a Holocaust is coming to America. And I don't know. I don't see that. I just don't see it coming. Like, really, like, oh wow, blacks are not fans of Jews? Tell me something I didn't know.
And who is this? You said your sister?
Yeah, my sister.
Oh, okay.
She has been, ever since Kanye first spoke up,
yeah,
she has been obsessed with this crap, and it is such a struggle to not piss off the family at dinner.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So is more of your family pretty more leftist, or?
I mean, yeah, that's the difficult part. Like, you know how it goes. Left-wing people, they settle down, have family, and they sort of get stuck in a period of time where that is where they're at. They thought that was okay, and everything after that is bad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a lot of my family is like that. So I got two older sisters. One of them, she actually lives in Brooklyn. And
oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And she has been fine with everything that happened in Brooklyn until she had a daughter. And now with her little 1-year-old baby, she's realizing how much bullshit there is going on around her.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
With the trans crap and all that.
Oh, yeah. Damn.
Because, dude, let me tell you, she's been living in Brooklyn since I was like 11. So I've visited her several times over the last 13 years. and
Yeah.
I've seen the downfall. There used to be attractive women in that part of New York City.
They don't exist anymore. Yeah.
No, they've either made
Yeah.
themselves ugly or
Yep.
gone quote unquote trans.
Yeah.
So
I
now
think-
all of a sudden she's realizing like, hey, maybe I should put my daughter in a religious school.
Yeah.
So for all the shit I talk on Jews,
Yeah.
still a Jewish school in Brooklyn is better than letting your daughter go to a public school to
Of course,
become
right?
one of
Yeah.
those fucking freaks.
Yeah.
But and then my other sister, I don't literally she was a liberal, then she became a Republican voter, and now because of Kanye, she's saying she's never gonna vote a Republican again. And I'm just I don't know, like, oh wow, Donald Trump had Kanye and Nick Fuentes in his house. Oh, boo-hoo. What?
Mhm.
What do I care? What the fuck? Like again, find me the lie in what Kanye has said so far.
I know. Yeah, I was
And
shocked
I'm not.
when I watched that interview recently with Alex Jones. First, I didn't know that was him. I was like, "Who the fuck is that crazy guy with a mask?"
I know the fucking math.
Yeah, yeah. But I actually listened to it. I was like, "Wow, he just makes sense." He's kind of wacky and he's eccentric and his delivery is really weird. But but he just says things that kind of are rational, and he just I don't know. It was pretty interesting. I thought that listening to him speak. Yeah, he's a weird fucker.
He is. I mean, the guy's halfway through a fucking mental breakdown.
Yes, yeah.
His
Or
wife
pretending.
left him.
Mm.
His fucking wife left him. He convinced her not to get an abortion. So, I mean,
Yeah.
fucking good on him.
Yes, yeah.
He takes that shit so seriously. He wears it around his neck, the sonogram. So,
Yeah.
like, okay. He had a fucking personal trainer that apparently does personal training for like all of Hollywood, and it's been
Yes.
behind every freak that either killed himself or went tranny. So it's like, yeah, this dude is fucking Manchurian candidate to the fucking nth degree.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, of course he's fucking like he's always been a little eccentric. I mean,
Yeah, I
George
think
Bush
he always
does
has
not
been.
care about black people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
but
ridiculous.
when he's onto something,
Mhm.
of course it was. Like, look at fucking George Bush now. You gonna tell me that guy doesn't care about black people?
He was so
like,
milquetoast. But
I don't know if people understand. George Bush was like one of the immigration presidents.
he was, yes, yeah.
Like,
him and Bill Clinton.
He was part of like,
Yeah.
they were part of the like neocon regime of like, oh yeah, no, we need to bring in like unskilled Guatemalan and Hondurans. To
Yeah.
Fucking, I don't know. I guess do construction because
Yeah.
half my crew is like Honduran. I don't like. I don't
Yeah.
know. I've had to put a tier list. Central Americans are really low on the Hispanic tier list. Every South American is higher.
Yes, yeah. They're just the highest ones in South America. Yeah.
And it is like again, look at the World Cup.
Yeah.
Aside from Brazil,
Mhm.
the South American teams have teams along with like the Eastern Europeans.
Yeah.
And you look at like France, Kylian Mbappe is the only black Christian on the French team.
Is he really? I actually didn't know that.
I don't know if he's the only one,
Yeah.
but yeah, the majority of black European players are
Yeah.
Muslim or Mohammedan. or whatever.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
they're not Christian.
Yeah.
It's fucking insane. So you look at like so Germany played Spain, which was majority white on their team.
Then Costa Rica. And
Yeah,
Jap-
Costa Rica and
and
Costa Rica
Japan, I
also
think.
was like, yeah, there's a couple of sort of how do you put it? Like swarthy guys.
Yes.
Swarthy, you know. Because they're not fully like mestizo, but you can see like where it comes from in them.
Yeah, definitely.
Senegal was in that no, Senegal was in the Dutch group. They were in group A.
Right. I think they won first place in Group A, right? Or I can't remember.
They did, yeah.
Yeah.
No, actually they got second. The Dutch somehow turned it around with their shitty fucking team.
Did they? They're playing like ass this World Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how far they're gonna make it. I'm so glad Germany got eliminated.
Was my first World Cup.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude. I was so happy about that. Because they were it's 7 teams. 7 teams that we're gonna go to this fucking Mohammedan country and preach about gay butt sex. We're gonna wear our armbands of one love and fucking oh man, when England couldn't score on the USA after taking a knee for their national anthem, I was so fucking happy.
I know, yeah.
Like, get fucked, you stupid assholes. But who was so let's see, World Cup standings. Who was in Costa Rica, Japan, Spain, and Germany. So it was insane seeing Japan actually beat Spain and Germany.
I know. That's impressive.
When I looked at the groups back in August, I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna get up, this is gonna get up, this is gonna get up. I was about half right. Germany, okay, I guess 2018 Germany didn't get into the knockout stage, but Germany, they have 4 World Cup titles or 6 World Cup titles?
I think it's 5.
And they can't,
5 or 6, somewhere around there.
Yeah, it's either them or Brazil has 6. I can't remember.
Yeah.
They're one of the most successful teams in the World Cup's history. And they can't get out of the fucking group stage.
I know. They played like shit.
They won in
2014. I think 2014 was
2014 they won the World Cup.
Yeah.
Against Argentina, which the Argentina-Netherlands game was the most boring game I've ever seen in my life. It was so, and it pissed me off because both teams were so good on the offense for that entire cup.
Right.
And then they get to the semifinals, and it's like, oh well, we're both gonna play defense the entire.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like, okay, the Dutch team, you guys fucking suck.
Yeah.
Like, you've never won a World Cup. You have 1 Euro Cup under your belt.
Right, I know.
You lost to Argentina in '78.
Yeah.
Like, I was talking about this with my dad tonight. He told me about Johan Krupp, who played in the '70s. And I got to see a photo of him. The '70s haircuts are the worst fucking thing. Because there's a photo of him and Maradona in the field, and Maradona had the goofiest fucking haircut, man. It was like a bowl cut, but with a mullet. Yeah. He looked like Wednesday Addams.
Yeah. It was amazing.
But you know what was fucking amazing was seeing in the Argentina-Poland game, some Argentinian fan in the stands had a drum with a painting of Maradona and Messi on it.
Did he? I didn't see that.
Had his arm. Yeah, it was a painting of Messi with his arm around Maradona's shoulder, and it was the most Argentinian thing I've ever seen in my fucking life. All it needed was Pope Francis.
That would be pretty damn awesome.
Fucking cool. Oh man, but I know. So I know you said that Ronaldo is a better player than Messi.
I think he is. I think.
You think he is?
I think he's a better. Yeah, I definitely think he's a better player. When you kind of see Messi outside of Barcelona, he doesn't do anything. You see him in Paris right now; he's not doing anything there. Every time he played with Argentina, even when Argentina made it to the final of 2014, Messi didn't really do much in that World Cup. Messi is not a definer of the team. He's a great finisher. He's the kind of player that you want on your team if your team was good, right? So if you had a great midfield who could set up plays, that could create the situation for him to score, he's phenomenal in that. I don't take that away from him, but he is nowhere in the same league of, I think, of great historical players. Someone like Maradona was a phenomenon. He made a team. Was it Napoli or Lazio? I can't remember which team he played in Italy, but they were on the verge of relegation, and he chose to be on a shitty team after he played for Barcelona, and then he got kicked out because of that huge fight that he had there, and then he chose to be on a shitty team to make them win. And the difference between like Messi and Maradona is that Maradona can make a shitty team good.
Napoli, yeah.
And that's what I think many times is what defines, is that if you take out the player and the team still wins, that player really isn't significant. But if you take out the player and the team loses constantly, you're like, okay, this person makes a difference on the team. I remember, I think it was 2010, Messi got injured for half of the season for Barcelona, and Barcelona still won the championship without Messi. And that to me is a sign of somebody who really doesn't make that much of a difference. He's expendable. You could replace him. I think he got replaced by Cesc Fabregas, who is nothing. He's nobody. But during the time that he replaced Messi, he was scoring the goals. Why was he scoring the goals? Is because you had Xavi, right? And you had who's that bald dude that scored the winning goal in the 2010 World Cup? I forgot his name. Anyways, the other Barcelona Spaniard player, and then you had great defense midfields like Xabi Alonso, and then you had Puyol. You just had a phenomenal team, and this team, I think, is what made the difference for Barcelona to win. Messi really wasn't a signature player, and so whenever he gets out of Barcelona, he doesn't do anything. As opposed to, and I don't even think Ronaldo is great either. I don't think Ronaldo is a great player in history. I think
really?
I think he's good. Again, he's a good scorer. He's a great header. He's fast. Well, he was fast. He's kind of old now. And so
yeah, he's 35.
Yes, yeah. I mean, you could tell him on a pitch.
He shares a birthday with my dad, actually, but
does he? Yeah,
by a difference of 15 years.
Yeah,
same birthday as my dad. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
17 years actually, because Messi is like a month older than my sister and my oldest sister, and Ronaldo is like 8 months older than my oldest sister.
That's amazing. Yeah.
They're both 35. Yeah.
Yeah. But in a soccer world, I mean, shit, 35 years old, you're pretty ancient. You can't keep up. He can't keep up with Kylian Mbappe. This is where you see the difference. Then you see Mbappe. France does not put him in their last game and they lose. They put him in a 67th or 70th minute.
And that game pissed me off so much because Tunisia and Antoine Griezmann had such a good goal in the last 20 seconds, and then that offsides bullshit.
I know,
completely irrelevant.
It's
to
retarded.
The fucking goal he scored.
Yeah,
so you're gonna take that off? Like
I hate the way they're doing
had
it.
That fucking.
Yes,
Oh wow! So on the other side of the field, a player was offsides.
Go
fuck yourself.
It was
Griezmann
retarded.
had that fucking goal.
Yep.
It sailed right in the last 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And Mbappe has been like fucking explosive. And then you look at the Argentinian team this year. Was it McAllister or Fernandez scored 2 goals so far? It was one of the two. I think it was Enzo Fernandez.
I think it was Fernandez, yeah. McAllister scored that one. It was a great goal, the one that he scored, but he scored one, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think McAllister had the assist on Messi's goal in Argentina. Who did they play? It was Poland, Saudi Arabia, and Mexico. Yeah. McAllister had the assist on the Messi goal, and then he had his goal in the Poland game. Fernandez had 2 goals. Messi had 1 goal. So I think that, one of the things that always annoyed me about the Spanish team since 2014 is that they put so much pressure on Messi and don't play like a team.
Yes, yeah.
They just they were very ego driven, and okay, if Messi's gonna fuck this up, Messi's gonna fuck this up. They're not gonna come to his aid. So teams learned very early on, like, hey, swarm Messi.
Yes,
swarm Messi, get everything on him, and you're gonna win.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. But now, like, fucking McAllister and Fernandez are younger than me. They're 21 and 23.
Yeah.
Like, it's always the insane thing. Like, I look at the Dutch team. Frankie de Jong is like a couple of months older than me. Like, these guys are fucking young.
Yeah.
And they give me, well, not Frankie de Jong. He doesn't actually give me any hope because he has not been doing well this year.
Yeah.
But McAllister and Fernandez and all that, yeah, they give me some hope because, like, yeah, I would agree with you. I think, like, a friend brought this up to me. Messi's heart is with Barcelona.
Yeah.
It's not with the Argentinian national team. It's not with Paris Saint-Germain. And if he gets this contract with Inter Miami, it's not going to be with Inter Miami.
Yes, yeah.
Like, his heart is with Barcelona. He's been playing with Barcelona since 2003.
Yep.
So he spent a giant chunk of his life with Barcelona. That's where his heart is.
Yeah.
And Barcelona and Real Madrid are just such rich teams. They can always afford the best players.
Yes.
So, yeah, even without Messi, like, yeah, Barcelona will score. No doubt. But at the same time, like, I still think Messi does deserve his place in the Hall of Fame just because, yeah, Barcelona can win without him because it is just made up of the best players around the world.
Yes, yeah.
But he spent so many years there, scoring so many goals, winning so many games for Barcelona.
Yeah.
That he does deserve that status. But his heart's just not in any other team besides that. So everything else he does,
I think I would agree that a lot of it is where I guess his head and his heart really is in a game, but also simultaneously, I do think he does care about Argentina because he had a chance to play for Spain.
Of course he does.
Yeah. He did have a chance to play for Spain, and I understand the criticism that Argentina put too much emphasis on Messi. But that's why I don't think he's great, because a great player will be like, and so I'm going to live up to that standard. You know, people put all the weight on Maradona, and he won the World Cup. He put all the weight in any team he played, and he would win. They did even the same for the original Ronaldo, R9 from Brazil. I mean, the pressure was always on him. He got injured, people blamed him. If they lose, they blamed him. It doesn't matter, but he still won. And that's the difference. Is that, yes, people are going to swarm you when you're the best. It's just the way that it is. And the way that you show that you are the best of the best is that you could take that aggressive swarming of all the defenders trying to tackle you, and you still fucking win. And the fact that he didn't, to me, is okay. Then it's hard for me then to place him in the same league as Ronaldo. Even players that I don't like that much, like Zinedine Zidane, I would say still, he's in the end of the day, I would say, but does Messi have like the natural raw talent to have been the greatest of all time? Most likely he did. I think playing for Barcelona crippled him. I think playing for a good team crippled him because he doesn't know what it's like to play for a shitty ass team. He doesn't know what it's like to step it up that much more. And the fact that he can't step it up every time he just chokes, it's hard for me to put him on the same league as some of these other players, I think, in history that I think really earns a title of being a phenomenon, or earns a title of being the GOAT, as people call them now. And it's and I don't think he's reached it. I think Mbappe already has. That's the point. That's the
God.
yeah. I think Mbappe is better than Messi was in Messi's prime. I've seen both of them play in their prime, and I'll say Mbappe for me is much more impressive. When he enters the field, it's a different team. It's a completely different team. Whether it's Paris or whether it's for the national team, you take Mbappe out, it's different. You put him in, boom, he changes the entire environment. They attack more, the more aggressive, and he's a leader. And him as a figure, I think he's just more profound. while Messi never was that. He was one of the best finishers that we have seen in all time, but that's about it. I think he scored tremendous goals. Iniesta and Xavi, I think, were much more instrumental for Barcelona's success for the golden years, because when they left the field, Barcelona did choke. If you didn't have Xavi and Iniesta, they choked. And I think those two were prime in making them great. They were prime in Spain winning in 2010. It was like those two were just amazing players, and I think they made a bigger difference in the way that the team played than Messi ever did. Even in his best, Messi never was the one who made the team what it is. And so I think that's why I have a little bit issues with him. It's the same thing with Ronaldo. Ronaldo was a great finisher, but you put him in a mediocre team and he plays mediocrely. You put him in Manchester United, he's good for Manchester United, but they don't win. You put him in Portugal. They won Euro Cup, and guess what? Ronaldo was injured in the final game, and they still won. And so it's like that's what my point is with this generation, with this past generation. These past, I would say, like probably 10 years, 10, 12 years. I think that it was the lowest quality of players that I have seen since I started watching in the 90s. I think I saw higher quality players out through there. It got low, and I think it's just going up again. And I think so someone like Kylian is really showing them where a player can go. How great a player can really be. So he gives me a lot of hope for the game to be back to the, I think to the greatness and the focus on such great players that, that I think the Messi and Ronaldo era, in the end, when people reflect back on it like 20 or 30 years from now, they're going to mostly focus on what they didn't accomplish more so than what they did accomplish. But yeah.
Yeah. No, I think you're on something there, because like you look at them and you give them the penalty. Like you give Messi or Ronaldo a penalty kick, and
they choke.
If aside from that, that Polish goalie kept Messi out of that penalty.
Yes,
for the most part, like it's an intimidating thing. You get Messi or Ronaldo, because Portugal's first goal was Ronaldo on a penalty this year.
Yep. Yeah.
And I missed the Argentina-Saudi game, but I probably would bet that Messi got it on a penalty. Like that's that's how it goes.
Yes,
That's how it goes. So, but it's like you focus on these individual players, and it's not how they're playing with the team, because like you said, like you have to be, because these guys, they're assigned they're the captains of these national teams.
Yep. Yeah.
How are you leading? What are you doing? Is it actually working in your favor? Because like the last time the Netherlands actually did well was with Arjen Robben as the captain of the team in 2014.
Yes. Yeah.
And they got to the semifinals. They got to the semifinals, and then like the Dutch team always does, they choke under pressure and they can't fucking close it. So
it's the Dutch just doing general in life. It hurts
because it's literally half of my heritage. Like
is it?
I was almost born. Yeah, I was almost born in the fucking Netherlands by about a margin of 4 months. Yeah. So it's like they always have to be. In 2010, I was literally for all the summer wearing a Dutch jersey. So it hurts to see them choke the way they do.
Yeah.
But the last time they actually did well was with Arjen Robben as the captain.
Yes. Yeah.
And now, 2018, they didn't even qualify. 2022, they're doing okay. Not great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
They have no star players. Yeah, their coach is good. What is Louis Van something?
Yeah.
Van Garn or something. He's doing okay. The guy literally has fucking cancer.
Does he really?
He has cancer, and yes, I learned about this the other day. He has fucking cancer, and he's coaching.
That's wild.
Are they gonna make it out of the knockout? Well, yeah, they get paired up against the USA. Like, okay, Christian Pulisic got a fucking pelvis injury blocking a goal.
I know, right? Yes,
It's like, okay, guys, you could hold out against England, but when it comes to the knockout stage, are you actually going to go anywhere? Because I was impressed by the American footwork.
Yes, yeah.
Because they had all the fancy tricks. I don't think England was expecting it.
Yeah.
But okay, everyone's seen you now. You've played 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
You're going against the Netherlands. Now, they're not amazing at finishing, but for the first few stages, they usually do pretty good.
Yeah.
Have fun. That's all I can say. Like, okay, let's see. You know, Orange and Frankie de Jong and all that. You have fun with it. That's all I'll say.
So is the U.S. playing? Injured. The U.S. is playing the Netherlands.
Yes.
Oh wow.
I think that's going on like tomorrow, Saturday, or today.
Oh shit! I gotta watch that.
That might be the 10 a.m. game. So.
Wow. And Pulisic is not playing. I mean, he's the best player on the U.S. team.
He's playing.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah, he is. He is playing. He got cleared from his injury, but it was.
I thought he busted a nut.
So a lot. I don't know about busting a nut, but yeah, he definitely fucked something up on the field. But I am impressed because a lot of Americans complain about, oh, everybody flops and like, oh, they pretend they have the worst injury in the world and such plushy shit. And I really do think that's just from the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't hear about that like 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s.
Yeah,
soccer.
it didn't exist.
It's not in there.
Yeah.
No, it's like, that's literally the Ronaldo Messi generation.
It is,
these fucking divas.
Yes.
And then Luis Suarez fucking biting people.
Yes, yeah. No, that's what I mean. For me, it's one of the most embarrassing generations. Yeah, I think the one who kept flopping all the time was fucking Neymar. I was like, why do you keep falling? Like somebody just touches you and you fall and you scream, ah! It's like, fuck, just get up, man. Come on. It's an embarrassment.
It's so pathetic.
Yeah.
It's so pathetic. And it's turned off so many people from it. But I've been impressed that
people have stopped.
Only the teams that are the only teams that are getting disqualified are the ones that are pulling the flopping shit.
Yeah.
Like they're not like Belgium. What the fuck was it with the fucking face mask?
Played like ass.
Like, oh, good fucking riddance.
I know.
Like Belgium, good riddance. Germany, good fucking riddance.
Yes, yeah.
Denmark, fucking good riddance.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here, Denmark.
Face masks. You're heading balls like 10 fucking yards into the field, and you're gonna come out with your fucking face mask? Like, I need my pressure mask to stay Go fuck yourself.
I know.
You take this ball. It's flying at I don't know, 30 miles an hour. You head it 10 yards into the field, halfway across the fucking field. But no, you flopped. So you need this fucking face mask on you, like you're going to fucking sleep. You're going to the fucking spa. You need your charcoal mask. God.
Yeah.
I hate that. It's up there with the guys that overkick it in the goalie box and it flies 5 feet over the goal.
Yes,
and they're looking at the camera like, what? No, you're under pressure. There are 5 dudes swarming you. You didn't have time to aim.
Yes.
It fucking happens. Don't look confused
that
you don't have the magic touch. Like, I lose my shit every time they look at the camera like, oh, what? No, you overshot it, asshole. And I'm not saying I could do better.
Yeah. I'm
not a fucking pro level player, but
of course,
yeah. I wouldn't know where I fucked up.
Yes, yeah.
It just drives me insane. But yeah, no, I've been seeing a lot less flopping. Like,
yes, yeah.
I don't think France had any floppers. England didn't have any floppers. America, the only time like they did that shit was like when Christian Pulisic was actually injured.
Right. Yeah, that's actually falling.
Yeah, he got like a legitimate knee in the back of his spine.
Right. Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, I know.
Nasty.
No, I think this is the only complaint I have about this World Cup is a stupid replay that the referee has to look at and the overcalling of all the damn.
Oh no!
but other than that, I think it's a great
VAR.
World Cup. It's intense,
Oh,
a lot of goals. It's beautiful, and so yeah, overall, I'm
the
pretty happy
the
with it.
teams that you don't expect
I
are
know.
coming through. Like
Oh yeah.
it is. Was it Cameroon beat Brazil today?
Yes, yeah. Brazil put all of their B players on there, but still, that's yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's what up. Yeah, everyone's coping like, oh, it was the reserve players.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. But still,
sorry,
they
but
lost.
for Brazil, I expect the reserve players
Yeah.
to still beat everyone in the fucking world. Like,
Yeah, I
you're
know.
Brazil.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Do we need a fucking replay of 2014 Germany?
No,
versus
that
Brazil
was painful.
7-1?
That was painful to watch.
That was
Yeah.
literally only upstaged by, and I tuned out in the last 10 minutes of the Spain Costa Rica game. I
Oh,
was
yeah.
like, oh, they're up 5-0. What else could fucking happen?
Yeah.
2 goals? What?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, okay, I know Costa Rica's not shit, but when it comes to Latin and South America, I expect better.
Yes,
Like,
yeah.
Come on, 7-0?
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Against people with only 1 World Cup title? Really? Okay, Germany, Brazil, and I actually got this wrong for several years. I thought a Brazilian player was injured by Luis Suarez from the biting, but no, that was earlier in the
Yeah.
cup.
That was earlier.
Brazil had no reason to lose 7-0.
They did lose 2 players.
None.
No, they lost 2 players against Colombia. They lost what's his name? Their main defender, who is actually a good defender. I can't remember his name right now. But anyways, I'll have to look it up. But they lost him, and then they also lost Neymar with a spine. The Colombian player broke his spine. He needed him pretty bad.
Oh, broke his.
Yeah, yeah. He had a hair-like fracture on his spine.
I knew. Oh, okay. So I knew it was something with the Colombia-Brazil game.
Yeah.
But I mistook who Suarez was for. So.
Oh,
it got
yeah,
mixed
yeah.
up in my head. So yeah. Because Suarez did bite someone in 2014.
He did, yes.
Fucking insane motherfucker. I am. So because he's like 37. I'm surprised now at the end of his career he didn't just bite someone in the
I know.
fucking latest cup.
He played so bad. I mean, I don't understand why they continue to play after like 33. It's just like you just take a bow. You had a good life, you know? It's like you just run slowly.
It's just a pride thing. Like
Thiago Silva. So Thiago Silva got injured. He got a red card in Colombia game, and then they also lost Neymar, and they also lost another midfielder. So yeah, they were down, but they still should not have lost 7-0. I mean, I thought that's still embarrassing. You know,
it's Brazil. I'm pretty sure Brazil has the most World Cup titles out of every country, and they've lost 7-0.
I was so
pathetic.
pissed.
Like,
I was like, yeah.
Oh, dude, because I remember I was going to an Argentinian bakery to get some things for my grandma.
Yeah.
And the game was on. And because there's like a surprising amount of Argentinians in Miami. They just don't show themselves.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But they were all in the bakery that night. And my parents and I, we walk in and we see, oh, the game's on. Oh, Germany's up like 2-0.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I go back. We're driving back. I check my phone. It's like, oh, they're up 4-0. I check again. And like 30 is 7-0.
Yeah.
What the fuck? You're Brazil.
Yeah.
You are Brazil. Your fucking mulattoes in the favelas do nothing but play soccer and rob people. Yes. And you lost to Germany. And, not to say that because Germany now is a shitty team, apparently.
Yeah. Back then, Germany was strong, but yeah.
Yeah. They were still the shit.
Yeah.
And you're going to lose like that?
Yeah.
Good Lord. Because, again, 2014, that's the year Germany took it home.
It is, yep. Yeah. And they were playing in Brazil. And that it's so embarrassing. It's like, wow.
No, it was, it was Brazil that year.
Yes, yeah.
Fuck.
It was
That's
just an
so
embarrassment.
bad.
I was like, wow, I
so
didn't even want to watch anymore. I was like, that was just, oh, that hurt.
Oh man, it's like it's so bad because Argentina is obviously my number one team for South America.
Yeah,
That if any team is gonna get through, I want it to be Argentina.
yeah.
But if they don't, then out of South America, like Brazil is the next obvious step.
Yes, yeah.
Because who like Chile doesn't get in.
No.
Uruguay does not deserve to fucking get in with Luis Suarez on the
I
fucking
know.
team. Literally, it was like 2010, 2012, and 2014.
Yeah.
He bit people in 3 different fucking tournaments.
Yeah.
And now, like, okay, you're 37. Just fucking bite someone. What do you think you're
Yeah.
gonna play the next fucking cup? You're gonna be You're gonna be in your fucking 40s, dude.
I know.
You're getting outran by everyone because
Everyone, yeah.
Kylian Mbappe is like under 26.
Yeah.
McAllister is
He was
like
18
21.
in the last World
Enzo
Cup, so he's only
Fernandez-
22.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And France won the last
I
fucking
know.
World Cup.
Yeah.
It's so. And like Enzo Fernandez is like 23. Alexei McAllister is like 21.
Mhm.
Mbappe is like 22. Like you're
Yeah.
out. You're
Yes.
fucking like that's why Messi is looking at a contract with Inter Miami because
I
the
know.
MLS is so shit
Yep.
that this is literally it's even worse than Ronaldo going to Juventus because
Yes.
who cares about the Italian league? No one.
I
It is
know.
Boca Raton for soccer players.
Yes, yeah.
You
They
go
used
there
to be-
fucking retire.
They used to
But-
be great, but yeah, I don't know what happened to Italy.
I
Yeah.
don't know. And they're not a bad country for soccer.
No, I
They
think
just don't have it anymore.
I think they won 3 World Cups. Yeah, the Serie A league used to be the shit, you know? People would would watch it all the time. Great players used to play there. And now they're a joke. And didn't even qualify for the World Cup. It's like what is wrong with you guys?
Yeah, when's the last time they qualified for the World? Because they didn't make it in here. They didn't make it in 2018.
No, they made it
I don't
2018.
think they made it in 2014.
No, they
They
made it.
did?
Yeah. This is the first time they didn't make it in, I think, over 30 years, 30 or 40 years.
No shit. Okay, I didn't need to see this. World
Yeah.
Cup 2018. So they didn't make it in 2020. Oh, let's hold on. Let's see. Croatia has been doing surprisingly well.
Yeah, they won, I think, 3rd place last time. Or at least they play the 3rd place game, yeah.
This is really just showing soccer is the Catholic man's sport.
I know, yes.
It just is. Like, sure, you get a couple of Protestant countries, but it's the Catholic sport. I mean,
It is.
come on, dude.
Every
looking at,
Catholic nation loves it.
Argentina, Poland.
Yeah.
Really? Come on. Even the Serbs, like who are fucking Orthodox, they were signing the cross on themselves for going onto the field.
Yeah,
One
yeah.
of the Polish players getting back onto the field. So going back to Messi, I don't like NFT bullshit. And on his Instagram, he's been promoting like this weird Ethereum shit. But
Oh, really? I didn't know
one
that.
of
Yeah.
these things is a 3D. One of the things is a 3D animation, and it's him signing the cross.
Oh, I saw
over
that.
himself
Yeah,
in
yeah.
His 2022 model.
Yeah.
It's like, come on! It's
Yeah.
like, you have to at least love Ronaldo and Messi for being fucking devout. Like,
Oh, I know. Yeah.
every time
I do love
Messi
that.
scores a goal,
Hmm.
it's like signing the cross and pointing at the sky for his grandma. Like,
Yes.
do you get any more Catholic than that?
I
Come on.
actually don't know
For
any.
your grandma?
I don't know any great soccer player that wasn't Catholic. I think all of the greatest of all time
It's-
were Catholic. Pelé was Catholic. Maradona was Catholic. You know, what's his name? I think that Dutch player Johan Cruyff was Catholic. He could have not been, but
Let me see that.
yeah, check if he was. He could have been Protestant,
'Cause I
but I'm pretty sure he was.
I wouldn't-
I'm sure he was Christian at least. But yeah,
Oh God, his 70s fucking haircut. It trips me every time I say it. And he played for Barcelona.
yeah.
Hendrik Johannes Cruyff. What the fuck are these Dutch names?
I know a lot of them were Calvinists, and so they could have got rid of all the Catholics. But I know there's some Catholics still left over there.
He was born in Amsterdam. They don't say what religion he was.
Mm.
Say you don't know because like Southern Holland could always be Catholic.
I know.
It's always a possibility.
Yeah.
It's very because literally the only reason Belgium exists was England deciding to fuck over Netherlands and France.
Yeah.
And now we're getting a reunification. The Belgian league and the Dutch league are joining together.
Are they? I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I learned about it recently. It's that because in reality, Belgian league has like one team winning over and over.
Yeah.
I don't even know the fucking name. The Dutch league is like Ajax has won 33 times.
Yes, yeah.
And then the other two are Eindhoven and Feyenoord. So where's the excitement?
Yeah, teaming up is good.
This up to like at least 5 teams.
Yeah.
If at least 5 teams are winning this, like, okay, this is competition.
Yeah.
But if it's just like, okay, 2 teams in Belgium and 3 teams in the Netherlands, that's fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Like, okay, yeah. Why would I ever tune into the area division if I know Ajax is gonna win again? It's like the Bundesliga. Why would I tune into the Bundesliga? Okay, Bayern München is gonna win.
Yes,
they're going to win.
Yeah,
it's just, Munich is gonna win. Why would I tune in? What good? Like, at least like La Liga. I know. Okay, it's gonna come down to Barcelona and Real Madrid.
Yeah,
but at least these two are actually competing.
Right. Yeah. There's at least that competition. No, I get what you mean.
Or the Premier League. Like, okay, the English Premier League.
Yeah.
I don't know who the fuck's gonna win. I don't know who half these teams are.
Yeah, I know.
Sure,
me either.
This year might be fucking Tottenham. It might be fucking Chelsea. It might be Liverpool. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
They all got a fucking chance.
I think that's why so many people love the British league. I think they're just more, I guess, more unpredictable.
Yeah. No, that's the only reason. Like, because it literally, because like La Liga is going to come down to Barcelona versus Real Madrid.
Yeah.
It's just how it goes. And, the French league is going to be Paris Saint-Germain. So
yes, yeah.
What are the chances like Lyon's going to take it? Nothing.
Yeah.
Germany. Like, could you even name a different club besides Bayern Munich? I can't.
Yeah, I can't either. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I know Berlin has a club. I don't know what's their fucking name. And okay, there we go. I know. So in the Dutch league, I know it's Ajax, Eindhoven, and Feyenoord. Or whatever, however the fuck you say it in that stupid fucking language.
Yeah.
But
I think Ajax is the only team I know from them. I know, yeah. Yeah.
It's like, come on, man. It's I don't. It astounds me. Like, yeah, the UEFA doesn't actually matter as much as it should.
Yeah. Because
everything's a league within it, but what does it actually come down to for championships? Nothing. Like, okay, you get the Euro Cup. Yeah. That's not that's the Euro Cup. That's not a UEFA.
Right. Yeah.
And even then, the Dutch only won like 2 Euro Cups. Fucking losers.
Yeah. Fuck.
It's so embarrassing, man. It is so fucking embarrassing.
Yeah.
I'm lucky. I got like Euro mud heritage. So my dad's whole family is Dutch. On my mom's side, she was born in Argentina, but then her mom's German. Her dad was French. So I get to pick. You just all over. No, I don't have to stick with one team.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like, okay, what happens? Like, okay, when Kylian Mbappe is too old, and France sucks again, what do I do? Because Netherlands is not going to take it. Germany's obviously putting themselves in a fucking drought. They'd rather be fucking woke than play soccer. Oh, yeah. We support the gay butt sex. We do not care about scoring the goals. It is all about, oh, you are in Qatar. Well, there's no homosexuality allowed. Like, think about this: the Germans are putting butt sex over drinking beer in Qatar.
Yes.
It's so pathetic. Like, the Qataris basically kidnapped Bengalis and Nigerians to build this stadium. They took away their work visas and didn't let them leave the country. They died building these stadiums, and we care about the gay butt sex? Oh no, you can't do sodomy in Qatar. Oh no, the horror. I can't. I'm Cristiano Ronaldo. I can't grab people's asses in Qatar. What the fuck is this? What is going on?
Yeah.
It's insane to me because it was what? So it was England, Netherlands, Belgium, Switzerland, Denmark, and like 2 other teams were like, oh, we're gonna do the One Love armband.
It's so
Then
fucking retarded.
They didn't, because this is how weak this shit is.
Yeah.
How quickly this will eventually die in the West when shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
Of like, they couldn't even stick with it when FIFA told them, oh, you're going to be disqualified if you do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, if this really meant shit to you, you would have gone disqualified. But
Yes,
no, you're
yeah.
just virtue signaling asshats because half your team are black Muslims anyway in most of these fucking teams that
Yes.
don't believe in sodomy.
Yeah.
So, what the fuck are you actually doing? Like, oh my God. No, England taking the knee and Germany like doing that thing on their Twitter, like they were all hunched over, putting their
It was
hands
so
their
gay.
mouths, like,
Yeah.
"Oh, we're being silent and supporting the gay butt sex." Fuck, dude, you're a soccer team.
Yeah.
Like now I know, because I don't care about NFL, but now I know how people were like when Colin Kaepernick was like,
Yeah, me
I'm
too,
gonna take
yeah.
a knee for the fucking national anthem. Like, really, dude? Every other, like, you see it, and every other team is like crying in
Yeah.
their national anthem.
I
They're
know,
there with the
yes.
flags, they're feeling it. They're like, oh yes,
Yeah.
yes, I'm here to represent my country. Even if we lose, we're gonna give it our all. Cause like, at least, you know, like Tunisia, Cameroon, all that shit, they gave it their fucking all
Yeah.
when they were about to lose. And these people are crying in their fucking national anthems. They're giving it their all. They're doing everything they can for the country.
Yeah.
And England takes a fucking knee. Go fuck yourselves. And then Grant is in that stupid fucking country for the last week doing, I don't know what, putting on a fucking medieval helmet. What the fuck? You know, you run this Catholic podcast
Yeah.
where you laud Catholic Europe and you shit on these schismatics and these heretics. And then where does he go? Where does he go? To the most retarded fucking country on earth. I mean, but King Henry fucking got his last rites as a Catholic? He's on his deathbed. He wants a Catholic priest in his country after everything he fucking did. He wants a Catholic priest at his deathbed so he gets into heaven because, oh, it turns out he was actually a devout Catholic his whole life. He just wanted to divorce his wives that he was gonna fucking kill anyway.
I know, it was
He's gonna
horrible.
fucking kill him.
Oh man.
What was the point of the divorce if they lost their heads? And then Grant goes there to this shitty little island that's nothing but rain and bad teeth and inbred fucking people. And the fucking migrants. Don't forget the fucking migrants.
Yeah,
You gotta
yeah.
get your fucking Pakis and Nigerians in there to do your fucking roadman shit with their fucking North Face jackets. I won't be surprised if he gets mugged in fucking Manchester. Fucking Oi, mate. Fuck. Go fuck yourself. You don't speak English, you fucking assholes. It's not English anymore. You lost the right to the fucking language. You don't fucking speak English. You fucking water. You water.
What?
Fuck yourselves. I had a friend like the British friends from Liverpool, and my God, how he made fun of his lunch. He was oh man, God, fuck that country, fuck that fucking country, fuck King Henry,
Yes, yeah.
fuck the British, fuck all my British friends. They're like, what a stupid culture. That's all I gotta say about it. Like, you know, the Italians, they understand life.
Yeah.
They wake up late for work. They take a long lunch. They don't actually do anything. Their government collapses every 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
They understand. You know, they understand what's good in life. Like Giorgia Meloni, now that's a politician.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a fucking politician.
Yes, yeah.
It's like, Jesus, man. It really took, because it's not like Mussolini was a fucking Catholic. The guy
Right, I know.
fucking hated Catholicism.
Yeah.
Somehow, Giorgia Meloni, the Mussolini respecter, is one of the best Catholic politicians in Europe.
Yes, yeah.
What was that recently? She like did some inauguration speech on the like fucking anniversary of the fascist party taking over Italy, and it was.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she did like a wink and a nod to Mussolini in her inauguration speech. It's like, oh yeah, oh well, you want to call Meloni a fascist? Who fucking who? What's going on in the rest of Europe, man?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
No, she's awesome.
Netherlands.
Yeah.
She is.
Yeah.
She's great. I mean, she's a chain smoker.
Yeah.
She's an unapologetic fascist. She says what's on her fucking mind.
Oh yeah, I know.
I don't like women politicians.
I don't either, but she's an exception.
My God.
Yeah, you make
know,
exceptions when somebody is
Marie
great.
Le Pen?
Yeah.
Yeah, Marie Le Pen can go to hell.
Yes, yeah.
I don't give a shit about Marie Le Pen.
I don't either, yeah.
But Meloni?
Yeah.
Oh man. Like Le Pen is not her father. She is not her father.
Yes, yeah.
Her father actually did something. The weirdest thing about French politics was that a Moroccan Jew was like the most traditionalist politician in the last election.
Yeah.
Because Eric Zemmour is like the most definitionally based French politician there is.
Yeah.
Because he's the only one who's actually willing to talk about, like, hey, isn't it fucked up that we have all these Algerians in our country? What is that? Like, was Rome accepting people they conquered as Roman citizens?
Yeah.
No. No.
Towards the end they did, but that's why they collapsed.
Yeah. It's like, so you were part of conquered territory, but you get the full rights as a homegrown citizen?
Yeah.
What? So no, Algerians and Tunisians and all that, they get to come in and just be full, like this Paris look like, because you've been in Europe, does Paris look like Paris that you knew in the past?
Oh, I mean, there's a lot more immigrants there now. I mean, that's really what you really notice. Yeah,
no shit.
Yeah, most of Europe, I just noticed that there's just a much larger population of Africans. I mean, when you think of when you live over there, basically, when you think of the immigrants coming in, they're all Africans. They're all Mohammedans and everything. So
yeah,
it's they're changing the landscape of the entire fucking continent. Yeah, I don't think I honestly don't think it's ever going to be reversible. I think it's just that's the way that it is.
I mean, with enough dramatic action, it can be. But
yes,
balls for that.
Yeah, it would have to be quite dramatic. But the reason I don't think is the reason why I don't think it's reversible is because they're starting to fuck. And the moment they start to fuck, they're producing.
That is the issue.
Yeah, they're producing children, and you give it 2 or 3 generations, it's like that entire continent now is just becoming something different. And even though a lot of them do just stick with their kind, it's very different than the U.S., where I think people tend to have more interracial couples. I know in the past about 10 years, Europe is starting to adopt more interracial couples and everything, and it's just becoming normal. I knew many French people that just loved Mohammedan women, and they just started to fuck them and starting to have babies and everything. So, yeah, it's gonna.
No, it is unfortunate.
Yeah, I find it very hard to see that it's going to change just because of that. That's not. Yeah, it's. I think the French, the Italian, definitely like the Dutch and the Belgians and everything. I think the kinds of people that existed before, it's just not going to be anymore. The whites, just like the American whites, are not producing children. It's only the Mohammedans are producing children, and then it's the one who have marriage couples that are producing children, and so it's the entire landscape. You give it like another 50 years, it's going to be dramatically different.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Like my dad left in '96 officially. Then, even then, like in '96, it was not what it is today in Netherlands. Yeah. And the worst part is that very few people there see an issue. Like, at least in France, it's a like north-south distinction, because the south of France are the ones that like they were lining up along the coast and not letting migrants in during the Syrian migrant crisis. So, there's some hope for them, but Sweden. I had to do a project for this. I got my bachelor's in economics.
Yeah.
So of course, economics only cares about what can the migrants produce for you? What fucking janitor jobs can they take up? And that's okay. So I had to do a project, and Sweden took in the most per capita.
Right.
Like a tenth of their population became fucking North African and Middle Eastern migrants. Yeah. Migrants, not either refugee or migrant. Notice the language. It's never You're moving from like Gothenburg to Oslo. That's a migrant.
Right. Yes,
I didn't think that's moving from Damascus to fucking Oslo. I didn't know that's a migrant, but okay. Yeah. They took in like 1/10 of their population in Africans and Middle Eastern immigrants. And Germany took in like 2 million over a 4-year period. Yes, yeah. These are insane numbers.
I know. Yeah.
And it's like, I know, like, there's a lot of things where Mohammedans are closer to Protestants in the truth, but at the same time, like, I don't want them in European countries, man.
Yes, I know.
Because they are fucking backwards people.
Yes. And it's just so profoundly different. And I think it's just sad to lose. But it's like they did it to themselves. It was like the Europeans, the Europeans started to lose their tradition. I mean, it was Christian, it was Christendom. They were Catholic. They had strong beliefs in reality embedded within, I guess, Christian worldview, Christian transcendentals and everything. And so it's like the moment they started to get rid of all of that in the 18 and 1900s, it's like then that's when you saw the opening of something that's going to replace it. I think they thought that they're just going to be. Oh yeah. It's weird to think back to try to comprehend what they were thinking, right? Because like we all kind of just begin with the social ethos that they were born into. So what year were you born? You said 98. Yeah. And so basically your memory started in the 2000s, right? And so you kind of understand what the ethos was in the 2000s, and you see how much it changed from then to what it is now, right? And And so and the older you get, and the wider you make that scene, the more absurd everything is, because you begin to be able to understand what they were thinking, right? So like my first memories start in the mid '80s, and it's like I remember what the ideas centralized within the moral theory, within cultural and economical theories and everything that you just hear as a kid, right? You hear stuff like, you know, that stupid '80s song, "We Are the World, We Are the Children."
Oh,
You know,
yeah, they remade like you
Yeah.
had that. I had that too. They remade a
Yeah.
version like the 2010s.
Right. Yes.
Like
Yeah.
Justin Bieber was on that
Did
shit.
they really?
That you can't escape. You cannot escape "We Are the World."
Yes.
What
Yeah.
a fucking terrible song.
It is horrible. But you know you just see it growing up and you feel it, right? You like you could just sit back and you could remember what that was like, and you know, when I was a kid, the Cold War was still happening. The Berlin Wall was still up. You know what I mean? That's how old I am, and so you know, when you have those memories, you remember the way that they thought, and it's like the way that the Europeans, and I think many of the more progressive Americans were thinking, was that they were going to bring in almost a new religion, and that's what we see leftism now. Like the development of leftism started back then, or at least was already progressing back then. You probably started more in like 1960s and 50s, but it was this idea that nobody's really going to believe in God anymore, that we're going to move past that we're going to create like a different moral system based on "We Are the World." You know, it's like that song is the epitome of their anthem of their moral structure without God. You know what I mean?
And John Lennon.
And John Lennon's, exactly, yes. Like those two things, you know, that's what they all had in their head. And I think what they didn't factor in was how I don't want to just say stupid, but how unproductive or how lack of a replacement that is to Christianity, like true Christianity, right?
Oh yeah.
It can't replace it. So what's happening is the fastest growing religion is Mohammedanism. And the reason why it's the fastest growing religion in the world is because what the left behind wasn't sufficient to fill in the gap of basic metaphysical structures of reality. And so since it doesn't, somebody like the Mohammedans could come to you and they could convince you of their religion, because they at least have a grounding in some kind of transcendental being. And so I think what Western Europe is experiencing is really that. It's that what leftism gave them, the lack of God, this atheism gave them, was no children to replace them, no reason to exist, no real reason to get married or stay married. I think Belgium is 74% divorce. Just think how crazy that is. 74%, I believe Belgium is. You know, there's no reason to start families. And so with a lot of these kids are grown up in that, and I think that's where your generation came into. It's like your memory starts where all this stuff from the 60s, 70s, and 80s tried to make, and I think why there's like a big resurgence, at least in the West, of Catholicism, is because of this lack of answers that atheism gave. It's like they thought that it would be sufficient to give them science, to give them, you know, a moral system without God, without any kind of grounding, without any kind of wars between religions. And so they thought that they were like going above that and that they could create a structure that way. And I think all that it really did was lead people either to Catholicism or Mohammedanism, because the more that people thought of it, the more they were like, well, it's not sufficient. It doesn't make any sense. It seems a bit superstitious to say that all things come from nothing. And so then what is left behind really is the two archetypal religions that had the most philosophical riches and I guess background that the world has ever seen, and really is Catholicism, Mohammedanism. Those are the only ones that really they're just a huge back catalog of just philosophical ideas, metaphysics, and then also further theological reasoning for virtues and everything. And so
because
yeah.
Yeah, because like, what is the post 9/11 generation?
Yeah.
It's you're raised in this mixture of like, okay, you don't want to be biased because you've had all these social revolutions of, like applied enlightenment ideals, which is just applied Protestant ideals.
Yes. Yeah.
You cannot have one without the other.
The
Enlightenment is a Protestant product.
Yes.
So
yeah.
it's just taking Protestant to its logical conclusion and removing all features of Christ, because the French after the Revolution marching to Notre Dame and replace all the icons with the goddess of reason. So
yes, yeah,
it's literally just applied Protestantism.
Yeah,
and you get that. So what is the post 9/11 generation? You're grappling with all these social revolutions that have gone on. Blacks got the right to vote, and then women got the right to vote, and then everything's been expanded. So you have all these social revolutions. Oh, women are in the workplace. Oh, we have desegregation. Oh, we militarily integrated schools, et cetera, et cetera. And then but then all of a sudden, for whatever, however you want to interpret it, did Bush do 9/11? Did he let it happen? Whatever it is, you had these rich Saudi playboys who are live in New York City with strippers and doing coke.
Yes, yeah.
Great Mohammedans, but they're literally playing this over payphone. So it's either they had it happen or they let it happen. But it's not just, right. But whatever. It happens, and you get this big scare. So you have to balance in your head, like, well, we believe every religion is equal because we're a morally relative nation.
Yes.
Every culture has its own moral things. But at the same time, you have to balance, well, who did the World Trade Center attacks?
Yeah.
And it's very obvious because the names are all the same there. And then we march into Afghanistan. And then what do we learn when, the United States takes over and is taking control from the Taliban? Oh, that these Afghanis actually, without the Taliban, have a tradition of dressing up underage boys and fucking them.
Yes, yeah.
And then if you as an American have an issue with this, you're going to get court-martialed for beating up the Afghani officer that did this.
Yeah.
But the Taliban outlawed this.
Yes.
And they outlawed the growing of poppy that makes heroin. So it's like, well, are the Taliban really... Because all they did was take a payoff from these rich Saudi playboys to let them hide in their country. Because this is like this is a place worse than West Virginia.
Yes.
It's really just an absolute backwater shithole.
Yeah.
They'll take whatever money they can get. Like, yeah, the Taliban was onto something, outlawing sex with little boys and making heroin. But wow, shit. That's a really high bar.
Yeah.
So you have to grapple with all these things. Like, you're being taught, there's a terrorist threat from these, these weird people that aren't part of your religion, but at the same time, you have to accept them in your country. But while you accept them in your country, they could be a terrorist threat because they might be recruited. And you grow up with all this shit going on in your head because in reality, it's falling apart.
Yes.
Because it had its run.
Yeah.
And now the real world is coming in, and like I said, George Bush was the immigration president because, not even just legal immigration, because that's one of the talking points, right? Like, oh, legal versus illegal immigration.
Yeah.
We can take in 100 million legal immigrants a year. That's no problem. Well, not that high, but
yeah, I know.
Somehow that's not an issue. And it's like, I really have no problem with immigrants staying where they come. Like I said, I like South Americans. Yes. I have no fucking problem with that. Or if Cardinal Sarah becomes the Pope,
Yes,
I
yeah.
have no issue there.
Yeah, me either.
The guy's
Yes.
great.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it'll be
He's
great.
a learned scholar.
Yep.
It has nothing to do like because in the position of the Pope, race legitimately does not matter.
Yes, yeah.
But if you're telling me, oh, the Prime Minister of Belgium is now an African, well, yeah, there something comes up.
Yes, yeah.
Pope Sarah? No, I don't care.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he is the most qualified theologian for this position.
Yes, yes.
He should become the Pope. Prime Minister Umbugo Bongo Bongo of Belgium? I don't know.
Yes.
There's a little bit of a disconnect here, and a reasonable one. Like,
right, yeah.
Yeah. The office of the Pope is so completely different to a prime minister. Like, the primal needs of what a country needs for their leader is so much different to a spiritual leader of the what is still the world's largest religion. It's
yes,
like, yeah. It's
and growing,
it's a
no-brainer. Yeah.
Like, yeah. I think I look at this. I think Catholicism is actually outgrowing like Islam.
Yeah, they might be right now. Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't looked it up in a few years, but I know that they have a huge surge, and they're having a huge surge with young people, and it's crazy because like the young people, your generation, it comprises of the most insane people and the most sane people in a longest time, right? It's like it's unbelievable.
It does.
Because haven't seen from my generation, I have not seen that many strong Catholics. With your generation, it's like the ones who have become Catholic or the ones who kind of came back to the church they're phenomenal, and they get it and they understand it, and
there's that convert zeal.
There is, yes, yeah. While I think that my generation was still kind of grappling with the entire 1960s and 70s revolution, cultural revolution, where you kind of just thought of your religion as a private thing. It was like you have your religion, but then there's the real world, and the real world is secular, and truth is secular, and that you and all this bullshit, that's pretty much how they function.
Well, we have telescopes, so why can't we see God? Where's heaven?
Yes. Just shit like that.
Oh, fuck.
And it's
yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that those people saw it coming.
So cool. No, and I really am so glad I look back at it and it's like, yeah, when was my atheist phase? When I was like 17 or 18.
Yes, yeah.
Even then, at least for a couple of years, I LARPed as a deist.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Oh, well, there's a God, but is there an organized religion?
Yeah.
At least it's better than Sam Harris.
Oh my gosh, I know.
It's just like, well, we have telescopes. Where's heaven?
Those guys were looking at him like he was retarded. It was one of the funniest.
He is. How are you?
Yeah.
Like, it really shows, and that's part of it. It's like, yeah, in 2000, this was edgy.
Yes. Yep.
Because everyone's used to dealing with like Southern Baptists and evangelicals and all that have no actual understanding.
Yes.
They're used to dealing with that.
Yeah.
So, you're rebelling against mommy and daddy's church.
Yes.
In the Deep South, or where the fuck you are in the country. Like, you're rebelling against this weird church that now is doing like theatricals for Christmas, where guys are going against along like zip lines on the fucking structural beams, rubbing fake snow. It's like, yeah, okay, you were rebelling against that.
Yeah.
That's what you're rebelling against. I get it. Yeah, your pastor didn't actually know much about metaphysics. So hitting him with but if God real, why kid die cancer? Yeah, that was deep.
Yes.
Your pastor couldn't answer that.
Yes. Yeah.
But you know what? Your average Catholic priest probably could answer that.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
we have telescopes. Like, we don't see God. It's just so
fucking
bad.
Priest from The Sopranos could answer that shit. Because you know what? good on the fucking Sopranos.
Yeah.
What an amazing show.
Yes, yeah.
Because they show that human side of the priest in that first like 2 seasons where he's with that MILF Carmela. They're
okay,
drunk in her home.
Yeah.
Tony's out of the fucking state. And he controls himself. He's like, even drunk off his eyes, like, no, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Good on you fucking guys, because if that was made in 2022, these fucking assholes would have made it like out of nowhere. He'd just go upstairs to rape AJ.
Yeah.
So even that priest could answer these simple fucking questions, but you're gonna give us Soviet propaganda of that. It's legitimately Soviet propaganda. Yuri Gagarin never actually said, "I'm up here, but I don't see God." Never fucking said that.
Oh, yeah.
Never fucking said that. Well, we're gonna regurgitate that. We're gonna regurgitate. Oh, we have high-power telescopes, and
we can't see God.
Oh shit! I don't know. Go fucking find Mount Olympus while you're at it, you asshole. Jesus Christ! I don't know. You want to fucking bore into the ground and find Hades too? Stupid piece of shit.
Ben Stiller's ugly cousin.
I mean, again, what happened to the Camus of the world?
You know? I know. Yeah.
But
no, seriously, like what happened to these older atheists who, in some way, I mean, in many ways they're pathetic, but they're a little respectable because they at least they follow its logical end, and I always appreciate one who follows to the logical end of the fundamental principles. And so, like these, puritanical atheists who just always talk about how evil everybody is and they're the most virtuous people. It's like, what the fuck are you? Like, what is wrong with you guys? If I was atheist, I would be like worse than fucking Elon Musk or the other dude. What's that black guy's name who has like 10 kids from random women? It's like, I'll be fucking anything that moves. Nick Cannon.
Nick Cannon.
Yes, yeah. It's like I would literally be fucking anything that moves if I was atheist, and they're just talking about how don't talk bad about the Jews. But what the fuck is wrong with you guys? Just go fuck. Just do something. Go to a country where you could fuck 12-year-olds and go fuck a fucking 12-year-old. What is your fucking problem? Why will you be atheist and then be a moralist at the same time? The only appeal. The only absolute appeal that atheism has ever had was the ability to fuck and kill. That is really, and without having a moral conscience behind that. It's like, I could fuck things, I could kill things, I just don't have to care. That is like the only thing that atheism gave you. Yeah. And the fact that they're sitting there and they're trying to talk about universal morality, it's so bizarre to me that it's upsetting. Really, it's like I don't understand why you would want that. Like the reason why I try to be good at all is for God. It's the reason, it's the fact that I believe that God has given me life, that Christ died for me, that I owe him something, that I am a piece of shit, and I need his grace to be better. That's the only reason why. You take that away from me, you remove that aspect of life. I'm like, okay, it's a free-for-all then. Let's go I want to go to an orgy. You know how great in a fucking orgy? I've never been to an orgy. I would love to go to an orgy. Just have like 10 women there. They're just like fucking. You go on a train on them. You see them eating themselves. I'm like, fuck yeah. You go after it. And these guys are not doing that. It's like, what is your problem? What the, I mean,
how are you going to be an atheist and a giant fucking nerd?
I know, yes.
In my atheist phase, I dated girls who ended up becoming hookers. Yes, I convinced tourists I didn't need a condom. I fucked girls on birth control. It's completely. Yes. It was all game on. Like, okay,
yes,
need a condom, don't need a condom, birth control, whatever. Like, all right, we're gonna fucking go for it.
Yes,
it's gonna be whatever the hell it is.
Yes,
whatever happens. And
that's
okay,
right.
I didn't get an STD. I'm not fucking Foucault. I didn't get fucking AIDS, but
Well, you probably weren't fucking dudes, so.
I was not. No.
Yes, that's so. Yeah,
even then, like no. I could have.
Of
But
course,
you know,
yeah.
in my head, it's like that's not a fucking achievement. Oh wow, you fucking dude, what a fucking achievement. Yeah, wow. Sodomite dudes love to fuck.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. No, you get a girl in bed, it's a fucking achievement.
Of course,
You get a
yes,
dude
yeah.
in bed, you're just fucking gay.
You fucking
It's
get
like,
two girls
oh, wow,
in bed. It's
you,
like, fuck yeah, you know? And it's like
yeah.
this is what I don't know. It's the most bizarre thing for me to think that somebody does not believe in God, does not believe a foundation, like first principles of reality and goodness and beauty and things. Everything is subjective, and then simultaneously does not do these things. Like, you know, if I meet an atheist and he has never had a threesome, I think to myself, there's something wrong with you. Then there's something definitely wrong with you.
No, it's
Yeah.
My atheist years were always marked by an anger that I didn't have God in my life.
Yes.
Like
yeah.
that was literally like it was constantly trying to find a reason to believe.
Yes. Yeah.
Poisoned by that fucking modern rationalism of like, well, can you prove it? Like actually, yeah, you can prove it. Like it's been proven for 2,300 years.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's like, wow, no shit. I was really fretting this much, but it's like it was constantly marked by an anger of like, why don't I believe anymore?
Yeah.
Why do I not believe? It was never like a satisfied atheism. Sure, I did whatever the hell I wanted.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, sure, whatever. There was jerking off, there was fucking bitches, whatever the hell it was. Like,
yes. Yeah.
sure, I did whatever the hell I wanted. That's not fucking satisfying.
Of course it isn't. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, yeah. Now I look back and it's like, yeah, that sex. Why was it good? Oh, because it was fucking beautiful.
Yes, exactly.
What is that?
Yeah.
It's like I was onto something.
Yes. Yeah.
That I didn't understand at the time. I was experiencing something. Sure, not in the ordered way. Yeah, to the listeners, don't have premarital sex, yada yada yada.
Yeah,
it's
of
not
course.
good for
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
I can't recommend that you actually do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a heretic. But
yes.
if you do it, it feels fucking good.
Yes.
It's great.
And that's why there's confession. I'm sorry. It's like there's a reason why confession exists, because we're pieces of shits and we sin. I was telling this that one of my friends' teenage son, he was thinking of leaving the church. I remember I was talking. I was like, "Why the fuck do you want to leave the church?" Right? Why? He was like, "Well, like his parents were like very." Like hard on him. The one time she caught him masturbating and took out the phone and started beating him and everything. And so like he was like, I just, and so he was just like, I just really want to have sex. And then I looked at him, I was like, you want, it's just bizarre to me. I was like, so you want to deny reality, truth, being God and everything because you want to get pussy? And I looked at him, I was like, why do you think confession exists? Right? And then he looked at me for a second. He was like, you're right. I was like, yeah, don't deny truth because you want pussy. If you cannot control yourself right now and you find yourself inside of a woman, okay, you've done it already. Finish it, do good. Then go to confession. All right. So then you can finally go to mass again and be right with the church. It's like that is life. We take the sin. And it's like, what, you never one time just, it was Thanksgiving and you were full and your pants, you couldn't even button your pants anymore, but somebody brought in, your favorite pie, whether it's apple pie or blueberry pie or pumpkin pie, and be like, I just really want a slice. And you succumb to that. And then you're a gluttonous asshole for that entire fucking day. You're sitting there, you maybe drank too much wine. You go to fucking confession. You go to college and this slut is like hitting on you constantly and you can't help it anymore. He's like, I just gotta fuck you. Fuck, then do it and then go to confession. But it's like that's life, we are all pieces of shit, and that's why we need the grace of God in order for us to overcome it, because those are lesser goods in which we all desire. And it's
and that's the same thing. It's like no one's ever left the church because they wanted an extra piece of pie. Or because they drank a little too much.
Yeah.
Or because they didn't go to the gym on a certain day.
Yeah.
But it's because, they wanted to get laid. Like, okay, why is prostitution legal in a majority Catholic country?
Yes, exactly.
I had a Colombian buddy in high school.
Yep.
And he went on vacation to Colombia,
Mhm.
and he brought his 14-year-old cousin. What's the first thing he did when he went there? He hired a hooker, and he got one for his cousin lost her virginity to him.
Yes.
This is what you
In
do.
Peru, it
like,
happens all the time.
what
Yeah.
yeah. It's what you fucking do.
Yeah.
Like it just is. And these people, they don't like. Okay, yeah.
They're not going to deny the
The
church.
Latinas, yeah. Like, okay, the Latinas, when you're a teenager, they're gonna be a little hard to put out.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
whatever, you put up with it, you do what you can, and the guy lays his charms.
Yes. Yeah.
And you learn by actually making it happen.
Yes. Yeah.
And otherwise, you go to your fucking home country and you hire a hooker. Well, why is it legal in all these fucking countries? Because like, there's no reason to leave the church just because you fucked.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah.
Like, what's the stereotype about Catholic men? That they're manhole whores.
Yes.
It just is.
And it's
Like,
unfortunately
okay,
true.
French,
Yeah.
Italian,
Yeah, all of them.
Latinos. It's like,
Yes.
yeah, you're fucking manhole.
I know. Yeah.
One time, so my parents, before we were in construction, they used to manage hotels.
Yeah.
And the hotels had a lot of Latino and Brazilian workers.
Yes.
So one time, they had some of their employees pick me up from school.
Mhm.
And it was this Brazilian guy and this like Costa Rican guy.
Yeah.
And we're driving down South Beach. Little 8-year-old me is in the backseat of the car. They roll down the window. What are they doing to all the beautiful women that are walking by? They're catcalling them. They're yelling out the window. They're complimenting them. They're laying game. And what do they want little 8-year-old me to do? They want me to roll down the window and do the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm 8 years old. I'm not even attracted to women yet. And they want me to
Yes.
roll down that window and say the same shit as them.
Yeah.
Because you know what? That's fucking normal.
Exactly.
That's what happened. Like, yes, a dog's gotta find his bone.
Yes.
A
Yeah.
man's gonna fuck.
Yeah.
Whether it's with one woman or multiple women, that's
Yes.
your personal preference. You're
Yep.
gonna do it. What the fuck else is confession for?
Exactly.
Like, really,
yes.
you're gonna go there after Thanksgiving and be like, Father, forgive me for I've sinned. I ate a slice of pie when I was already full. Like,
So I'm not
yeah,
going
sure,
to mass
technically
anymore.
You're supposed to.
Yes.
Yeah. Are you actually going to go there and confess that you overate a little? Who actually goes to confession to say they overate? No one. You're going to go there and be like, yeah, Father, forgive me for sin. I fucked again.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even making light of it. It's like reality. Like, what are you at?
I know. You're right. Yeah.
Because who steals in their day-to-day life? Yeah, there's a couple of people that maybe they steal a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
But how many people are actually thieving enough to go and do that? How many murderers are there to go and be like, Father, forgive me for I've sinned. I killed a man. Just are not there. But for people to have premarital sex, like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, that's pretty high up there.
Yep. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. And
even the
it's
condom shit, it's like,
yes.
fuck, I just use a condom. Admit that you're fucking doing wrong, but
Yes. Exactly. That's the thing.
use it.
And it's so frustrating that there's so many people that are unable to do that. It's like either they have to fully defend their action and be like, no, what I'm doing is not wrong, and so I'm going to deny God and everything. Or they just lie about it, and it's like, why don't you just admit it? You know, I'm a piece of shit. You know, fine, I am. You know, that's always the first step. I'm a piece of shit. I can't put myself in this situation because if I do, I'm gonna fuck him. You know, that's it. You know, if you know you're like an angry person and you have this wrath problem, be like, I can't put my situation because I'm just gonna punch him in the face every time. And it's like that's human nature, right? That's the way that we are. But like the denial of reality and truth for that sin, it's something that I personally can never truly comprehend, right? And it's something that I think is very dominant in the American culture. I think it's very dominant in many European cultures that are Protestant mostly. But like within the Latin world, you go to Italy and stuff, that view just doesn't exist. They they remain Catholic, and sometimes it just takes them a long ass time to, you know, overcome whatever vice ails them. But that's the point of the sacraments.
Yeah.
You know, that's the point of communion. That's the point of confession. That's the point of all of that shit, is that it does bring us closer to God so that we could be free from the shackles of sin. But while we're there,
Yeah.
it's like that's the unfortunate, you know, aspect of life, and so we remove ourselves from it, but just because we're weak, and we want it, and but a large part of it, the reason why we want it, because it is an experience of God, you know, it is an experience of the beautiful, and so we experience God through that, and I do think, to tie it back to what we're talking about with the atheists, I do think that's what makes the contemporary atheists not only more insufferable, but that's what makes them more evil. I think the contemporary atheist is more evil because they don't even have the experience of God anymore. The Foucaults of the world still have the experience of God. You know, he went to these orgies in Brazil where he got the AIDS. He fucked, you know, young women in Africa and in Asia and all that shit. You know,
and young men.
And young men, yes, yeah. Like he experienced the beautiful to some capacity. And when I see these like hyper puritanical atheists, it's like you got nothing in your life. Like I don't know how they don't kill themselves. Like how much of despair would you be in if you don't even experience God to some capacity? Because even in the one who's just being someone who's being completely degenerate.
What morals can you make up if there's nothing? Because that's always been the struggles. Like,
yes.
How is any morality objective? How are you going to claim
an
objective morality? Like, murder is not even. It's literally meaningless.
Yes, exactly.
No meaning.
Nothing.
Like, at least for like an absurdist like Camus, the meaning is to live. Like you create. Because how did Camus die? He was literally with his mistress. He was supposed to go home to his wife. Yes, and his mistress wanted to drive him home, and he died in a fucking car accident.
Yes,
so,
yeah.
That is literally the absurdest way to go. He could not have written it better himself.
Right, yeah.
And I know Bolkagov's Behemoth he's gonna love this.
Yeah.
The Brazilian. Fucking cat. Camus also, as a Frenchman, these Frenchmen had to have like the aesthetic.
Yeah, like, I know. Yes, yeah.
Camus' aesthetic. The trench coats and the suits and the cigarettes.
Yes.
Foucault with his leather jacket.
Beautiful, yeah.
Like, they just know.
Yeah.
They just, like, there's a reason an Italian suit is better than an English.
Oh, yes, it is. Oh, so much better.
Yeah. The Italians, even when they have to make something like generic to the population, they know how to tailor it better than an Englishman.
Yeah.
Like,
and I think that's what's missing though. With the contemporary atheists is that they don't have that. They don't have any sense of beauty. You see the way Sam Harris is like looking there. He's like slouching all back. He's got that ugly ass beard. He's just looking like this.
Oh my.
He just reminds me like an ugly version of Ben Stiller, and you just see him talk.
It really is.
And it's like this
ears.
Yeah, this monotone. You know, we got telescopes and we don't see heaven. And he's got to raise the one eyebrow like he's this cocky motherfucker. It's like you are just sad.
Have you seen Penn Jillette lately?
No, I haven't. Is it pretty bad?
Oh my god, dude!
I gotta look at him.
Vegan.
Oh, so he's like super like deathly thin.
Oh my god! As if he was not an insufferable atheist already.
How do you spell his last name? I know it's Penn and Teller, the duo, but I can't remember.
Jillete.
There, I found him. Oof! Wow. He looks like he has cancer.
I know, because he went like the Al Sharpton route. Have you ever seen Reverend Al Sharpton in the 70s?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. He went that route of like, okay, I'm going to just drop a shit ton of weight out of nowhere in my old age.
Yeah.
I have all this skin hanging. So
saggy, yeah.
It's like, Penn Jillette is also when you're like 17 and an atheist and sort of libertarian,
Yeah.
he like hits you right, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna diss all these sacred cows, man. Like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
shit on
I'm
Mother
so
Teresa.
edgy. Yeah.
You mature just the tiniest bit, and you're like, wow, you're just an asshole.
Yes, yeah.
Like, wow, Mother Teresa was not a perfect person? Wow. Wow, I'm shocked. Humans are not perfect?
Yeah.
And the only perfect person was Jesus Christ? Whoa. I'm amazed.
Yeah.
Mother Teresa might have done some bad things? Oh
And the
no.
worst thing that she did is that she was just kind of grouchy bitch that, kind of like to see the kids suffer a little bit. It's like, that's all that they keep bringing up. It's like, okay. And then what money thing? It's like, okay, man, you guys are just, you're reaching. I'm sorry, they're reaching. It's even the bad things that they listed was not, it's like, dude, you could find much worse saints in history than Mother Teresa, man.
I know.
It's like, damn you.
I know. Like, was it who the fuck was that Dutch priest? Like Father Alois?
Oh yeah. My oldest son is picking him as his confirmation saint, Andreas Waters.
Oh, that is amazing,
Yeah.
dude. That is. I wish like. So all the confirmation stuff confuses me because I'm still getting used to that. I know I'm gonna learn about that when I start RCIA.
Yeah.
Like, so my birthday is October 4th. So my birthday is the feast day St. Francis of Assisi.
Oh, okay.
So like, I just feel this like connection. Like, okay, this is my birthday. It's overlapping with St. Francis of Assisi. Like,
Yeah.
I should go with him as my confirmation saint. Like, it just feels right.
Yeah.
But like, if I just had that open and it was some like random saint,
Yeah.
I'll probably go with that. Like,
Yeah.
a fornicator I've always been, a heretic I'll never be. Like,
Yes. Yeah.
that's up there with turn me over. I'm
It
done
is
on
a
this
beautiful
side.
line. Yeah, several bastard kids.
It's so good,
He's just,
man.
I know, yeah. And it really shows the richness of the church, and that's what I love about some of these narratives of the saints. It's just the richness of what they bring, right, to people, and they could be like, wow, there's like one thing, obviously, the infinite forgiveness of Christ is obviously present in there, but also just that when we think we have hit rock bottom or we just went too far in our sins, and then you see that, because like even in the Catholic Church, who is the first canonized like saint in the church? It was the thief hanging next to Christ on the cross. It was a fucking criminal, right? A criminal was the first saint that we know within the Catholic Church. Because it was direct line from Christ that he's going to be with him in paradise. And back then, when you didn't get crucified just because you stole something, you got crucified because you were like a robber. Normally, like, you beat people up or you kill people to steal, right? It's like without that, a lot of the older practices were closer to the Mohammedans, where they would cut your hands off. And so if you're a thief, you get your hand cut off. But if you were crucified, I mean, it means you did some really bad shit, right? And so you have
to be really fucked up.
Yeah. So you got this criminal as being the symbol of the first person who enters the kingdom of heaven with Christ, and it's amazing. And then you have all these other stories. There's Saint Mary of Egypt. The slut who was who was basically in
the wilderness.
Yes, yeah. But she was like fucking all these dudes and then convinced them to pay their way. So she corrupt all of them during their pilgrimage. And yes, she becomes a great saint. And it's like I think Bishop Barron, I like his wording the best. He was like, there's only one thing that distinguishes a saint and a sinner. And that is the saint recognizes his or her sins, and the sinner doesn't.
No.
And when you see all these stories, that is the main thread. That's the main theme that you see with this. Like, these people recognize it. The thief recognized his sin. He basically said, I'm a piece of shit. Just don't forget about me. And that's all it really took. It was like that recognition. It was like, I am unable to do this on my own, right? That humility, I am unable to be a good person on my own. I am not God. I know that I deserve damnation. Um, and it's from that point where Christ can forgive you. Without that, he can't because you're not admitting to anything at that point. You still think that you're right. You still think that you could overcome it. And that's why I find so vile much of like the puritanical idea that it is us that's overcoming this sin, right? It is us who are perfect, and then that we are favored by God, like the Calvinistic view that, those who have all the riches in the world, the ones who are more favored by God and everything. It's disgusting to me. It's like, no, that's really the complete opposite. And to really think that you rejoicing the richness of this earth is what makes you favored by God. Is like, how does that at all make any sense? Because if Christ's entire point, right, Christ's entire life was to suffer and to die, not for his own sake, but for the sake of the good of the others. And it's like those who suffer and died for the sake of the goodness of the others, they're the ones that are actually closer to God. They're the ones that Christ wanted to be with them. It's like he's the one that brought them and gave them the opportunity to be more close to Christ by enduring that suffering. And I think the more that Christians just want Christianity for themselves, that's when it becomes corrupt. That's when it becomes narcissistic, and that's the part where many of these like people who are repulsed by Christianity, that's what they're getting repulsed by. Really, is that narcissism? Is that too many Christians are Christians for their own sake? I think Saint Teresa of Avila said the best. She asked the question, are you seeking yourself in Christ? Or are you seeking Christ in yourself? Basically, what is your main goal? Are you just trying to find yourself and you're using Christ to find yourself? Or are you basically looking inward to find Christ inside of you already? Or are you looking inward to find, like, what is your main goal? And I think when you are your main goal, when the only thing you're thinking of is my own salvation, you kind of lose. I don't want to call it a game, but just for the sake of conversation, you lose the game, right? You're not getting it. When you are your ultimate goal, you're not getting it all, because the moment that you receive Christ, within the sacraments and you understand the truth, you're not done. Now you go forth and you give it to everybody else that you know, your closest family, maybe your friends, anybody that you meet. Now you give it back to them because it's not for you. Right? You lose yourself. You have to lose yourself in Christ. That famous line in scripture where Christ says, those who seek to save their lives will lose it, and those who lose their lives for my sake will gain it. Or will gain eternal life, I think is the correct quote. That's a very powerful message that he's given people. He's not saying that you're not supposed to seek yourself. It isn't for you. It is that when you have gained the graces that God has given you in order for you to understand the truth and to be unified with God, now you give it to others, because that's what it means to be Christ-like. It is for you to die for others as Christ died for you. And that what's more important is always is that you're giving and you're giving, and you go back to the St. Francis of Assisi prayer, where some people say that he's not the one that actually wrote it, but it's always the sentiment of St. Francis of Assisi, at least, where he says, rather than to be loved, I seek to love, rather than to be consoled, I console others, and that's the point, right? It is when you begin to lose yourself is the moment that you are more closer to Christ, because now you're sacrificing everything you have so that others can be unified within Christ. And that's the point, and so I think when we miss that, and many Christians do, many Catholics do, it's like, well, then you kind of lost the entire point of why you're doing this. If the only thing you're seeking is yourself, if you go back to Meister Eckhart, he always speaks more in riddles, but he says, if you're constantly seeking the road to God, you find neither God or yourself, but only the road. And and I think, that's what ends up happening, is that we're always we're always so narcissistic that it's just us that we're seeking. But by the end of the day, it's you should be able to lay your life for the love and the goodness of the others, so that they can rejoice in Christ. And I think that the difficulty, I know I'm going on a long rant, but I apologize for it, but I think the difficulty is that when you see this play out in the world, it's like you see some of this proper sentiment in more of the liberal Catholics, and then with the conservative Catholics, it's like they have more of the proper structure and order of theology and thought and everything. But many times the conservatives lose this aspect, and you notice it, and sometimes you're like, you can't pinpoint it, like there's something wrong, because like you kind of notice it's like it's as if they're, you have all this great richness, and many of them are well versed in scholastic ideas, many great theologians, and yet they're just like they don't get this part, and so then they don't understand it. With someone like Bishop Barron talks about it, and so, you're just a universalist. It's like, well, Bishop Barron actually denies universalism. He always does. He says it outright that he denies universalism. But and that's not what he's getting at. What he's getting at really is this sentiment, really is this goal, right? The dare to hope goal really is that if you put it into a scenario, right? And this is the scenario I normally put it in, is that if you make it at the end of your life, and you are entering the kingdom of heaven, and you know that your child is going to hell, what would you do? Would you want to trade places and say, like, no, I mean, then my job is not done yet. I don't want to be rejoicing in heaven if I know my own son is going to hell. That's not what anybody would want. And I think that if you are in a fullness presence in the beatific vision of God, you think of that with everybody, not just your child. You're entering the kingdom of heaven, and knowing in your head, no, all these other people are going to be burning in damnation. You would be the one that said, then my job is not done. My job cannot be done, because as now being a body of Christ, I will reach out to each one of them in the hope that that hell would just be empty. That should be the fucking hope, right? That's why that prayer, that famous prayer, oh my God, forgive us our sins. I'm sorry, oh my Jesus, forgive us our sins. Save us from the fires of hell. Lead all souls to heaven, especially those who most need of thy mercy. It's like, that's why that prayer is profound. It's an important Catholic prayer, because if you're not hoping for that, if you're truly hoping that there are people burning in hell, and then in the end, it's like, then you're missing the point. You're not saying that that hell is going to be empty. No, of course not. That's universalism. We know that's a heresy. We know that's not going to be the case. But we also don't know what the second coming means. And in the end of the day, if the second coming means that we can abolish that, we could abolish the possibility of these people being in hell, I would rather die with that hope. And I would rather live towards that than not, because when I look at so many people and so many of us, when we reflect on ourselves and we see people really, really indebted in sin, it's like many times it's circumstantial. Many times that, many of these rapists and pedophiles were raped themselves. Like that's the statistics that we know. There's people that I know that were just born into shit, like complete and absolute shit. I didn't get to experience that. I wasn't raped as a kid. I wasn't raped for like 6 years straight. I don't know what the fuck that's like. Do you know what I mean?
Thankfully. Yeah.
Yes. And then you see them, and then they fucking kill themselves. And then what? As a Catholic, I'm like, you're going to go to hell. You shouldn't have killed yourself. It was like, yeah. That sucks. But at the same time, I pray that cannot be the case, please, because at the end of the day, it's for me, it's like, then what was it all for? I don't get that mentality. I would never get the mentality that I would be happy that these people are burning in hell. It's like, what was it for then? I would rather be in hell with them in the end of the day. I would rather be in hell with these people, because if I could just at least bring some joy to their life in hell, I would rather do that than just be in heaven. I'm sorry. It's a sentiment that I truly deeply feel, that I would never comprehend the idea of a Christian being happy that there's people damned in hell. That does not make any sense to me.
It really, it really is, like, especially because, you've been from your entire life Catholic, and
Yeah.
everyone in your life has been a Catholic. But for someone like me, it's like I know that when I started RCIA and when I finally talked to my family about it, my dad's an atheist. My mom is a Jew for whatever it's worth.
Yeah.
So it's going to be the struggle of, sure, my dad is going to understand my decisions, but he's not going to care. My mom is not going to understand my decisions, and she's not going to care. She is going to be very upset. So
Yeah.
it is going to be a lifelong uphill battle of trying to convince my parents, my family, of what I'm looking towards is not the truth because I chose it, but I chose it because it's the truth.
Yes. Yeah.
And that I want them to do the same.
Yeah.
That is going to be a lifelong battle for however long my life is, for however long their lives are. It is going to be this difficult thing. And I cannot imagine myself rejoicing that at the end of my life, when I'm saying my deathbed, oh, wow, thank God my parents who didn't agree with me are burning in hell. Like,
yes. Yeah.
that is something it's going to fucking haunt me my entire life if I'm not able to convince them. Like, no, I don't. And what about my friends that did not convert to Catholicism? It's like, I love these people.
Yes. Yeah.
I let them walk over me because I love them. I come back to them because I love them. Like, yes, this is my family, these are my friends. I love them, so I let them do these things. Can I actually rejoice? Can I sit on my deathbed and be like, I'm so happy, I'm going to heaven, they're going to hell? Fuck no.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, I have legitimately thought it so many times. Like, I would be fine burning in hell if it meant someone else could take my place.
Yes, 100%.
Like,
yeah.
that is. It's like that's just how it is. I cannot imagine. Like, it's so hard to grapple. Of course, if it comes down to it, you put a gun in my head and you ask me, like, okay, but do you believe that God could select between the elected and the unelected? Some people are going to go to heaven, some people are going to go to hell. Like, yes, I can. Do I have to be happy with it?
Yeah.
No.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, eternal damnation is eternal damnation. That's a lot to think about. Like, that's a lot of weight. I don't want to go there. So should that mean I want anybody? No.
Yeah.
No. And the humility aspect of it is, like, for as much as modern Judaism is like a Christian heresy, at least there was one good thing that was ingrained in me, and that was humility.
Yeah.
And it's be humble. Don't think that you're the next greatest thing on earth. You're not. Anything can happen. Be humble before other people. Be humble before God. Because it's like, what's that Eastern prayer that some Byzantines like? I know. I can't remember the priest I follow on Twitter now, but he's a Byzantine Catholic priest, and he posts this prayer a lot. Lord Jesus Christ, have mercy on. Lord Jesus Christ, and God, have mercy on me, a sinner. And as simple as that.
Yeah.
Lord Jesus Christ, and God, have mercy on me, a sinner. But you can also do this prayer for other people.
Yeah.
When you do this prayer for other people, you do not refer to them as sinners. You change the wording because you can only refer to yourself as a sinner.
Yes. Yeah.
Sure, everybody else is a sinner, but you are making a judgment call.
Yes.
You are declaring that everybody else is sinners, so somehow you are better. No, you don't declare yourself as a sinner.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, yes, you do declare yourself a sinner,
but not others. Yeah.
Other people, because who are you to be in this position to judge other people as sinners? You're a sinner too. So you get down there, you get on your knees, you make this prayer as a sinner yourself, and if you're praying for other people, you want to laud them. You want to lift them up because you are begging for mercy for these other people. Are you going to come before the Most High and deride other people while begging for their mercy? No.
Yeah.
No, you come, you degrade yourself because you're a piece of shit. I'm a piece of shit. We've all done things we all fucking regret.
Yeah.
Like, there's no fuck. If you want to tell me you've never done something in your life you don't regret, you're a liar.
Yes. Yeah.
You are a fucking liar.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, I could, off the top of my head, name 5 things.
Yeah.
That I wish I'd done differently.
Yes.
That are like legitimate sins. So.
Yeah.
It's like, everyone's fucking done something. Don't act like you're better. Act like you're worse.
Yes,
Because
yeah.
you don't know. Chances are, maybe you are.
Yeah.
And there's so much beauty in that humility.
Yes,
Like,
yeah.
it's not even once you take yourself down to that position where you can recognize what you are, who you are, what you do, you can see so much more in the world that's before you.
Yeah.
Like, you're not caught up in your own ego. You remove yourself from that, and everything else just becomes so much clearer.
Yeah.
And it's so much easier to assess yourself if you just realize, yeah, you're a piece of shit. You're not hopeless. You're
Right,
not gonna
yeah.
be perfect, but you're not hopeless.
Yeah, you're not yeah,
You can
definitely.
do something about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're not gonna be perfect. You don't need to be like, I don't understand this obsession with wanting to be perfect.
Yes, yeah. We should
What
be
is
the
it?
best that we can with what we have. And that's all that we really can do. And at the end of the day, that's really all that we can do. Yeah, and I think what ends up happening with a lot of people who, especially who are extremely judgmental, is that they don't. It's as if they put themselves in that other person's situation with their own life experience. And I think that's what ends up happening, because I think, well, I would never do that. That's what thing in their head. It was like, yeah, but I mean, you grew up in the United States. You had your two parents. You know, they didn't fuck you, right? They fed you. You had a bedroom. You know, you it's like you understand that there's people that exist in this world. There's thousands of people, if not millions of people, that exist in this world that doesn't have that. They're what they were born into was just there's children literally born to crackhead mothers and absent fathers, and this mother just like completely abuses them their whole life or neglects them or to go smoke crack and become whores. And this kid just like grows up in this situation, and then he just keeps making bad decisions after bad decisions because he's doing the best that he can with what he has. And again, it's like there's a lot of people like this. Like I don't want to bring just a sympathy salve story, but it's just the reality. And I look at that, and
It is.
and the difficulty for me is like I cannot be logically okay with thinking to myself, well, you're just going to go to hell because God gave you a shitty life and you did stupid shit, so you're done. And it's no. There has to be a solution. There has to be more to that. There has to be something that we don't fully comprehend right now in our life, that only God can comprehend, that maybe in the second coming in the new covenant will be a fuller comprehension of this. But as it is right now, I just feel like it can't be okay, because it's like you. In the end of them, it's like what you expect. It's almost as if I every morning of the day just beat my kids. I punch them in the face. I kick them. You know, I fucking snort cocaine in front of them. I put a little heroin in their fucking drink, and then they become degenerates in the end. And they're like, "Why the fuck did you become a degenerate?" It's like, what do you expect? It's like, what do you expect, right? And then you think, yeah,
Man, like my ex-girlfriends.
yeah.
One was molested by a cousin at a young age.
Yeah.
But she was chilling. She had a really good.
Yeah.
So, you know, there was something to the girls with the trauma. Like I don't know what it is. They get better and better. I don't know what the fuck it is. The next one after that, her dad divorced, quote unquote, her mom. You know, whatever bullshit.
Yeah.
Threatened to murder her and her brother and smile in the mugshots.
Yes.
Another girl, her dad left her mom after they had a successful business together and died of cancer when she was like 16.
Yeah.
So, you know, I know these crazy women of like, they really got some shitty cards dealt in, because the one I got was my cousin became an escort.
Yeah.
And like the full service one, not just like full service.
Not just a dinner
again,
date.
Really good in bed.
Yeah, yeah.
It is, and I understand these people. Like, it really is, because a lot of people can just shrug off. Like,
Yeah.
no, if your dad threatens to murder you and smile in the mugshots,
Yeah.
that weighs on you.
No, it's
as
damaging.
A person.
Yes, yeah.
You don't just, and she was damaged from that. Like, eventually she went on birth control. She was very emotionally dead.
Yeah.
She was an insomniac. All these things. Like, there was all these problems.
Yeah.
If this happens to you at a young age, you're gonna get fucked up.
You are, yeah.
Would I wish hell on this person? No.
Yeah, I know.
Like, what is? I just want to stop. Like, and for the people that think you can achieve perfection, could you ever bench press a car?
Yeah.
Could you No, you obviously could not bench press a car.
Yeah.
You could bench press very fucking high. Like, you and I were manlets. We're both under 6 feet.
Yes, yeah.
We could get our bench pretty high up there.
Yes,
compared to like someone who's over 6 feet.
Yep, yeah.
Could we bench press No, we could never
in
a lifetime bench press 2,000 pounds.
Yeah.
So, could you achieve perfection? No.
Yep.
And if you think perfection is the standard for getting into heaven, well,
then none of us are going to heaven.
No.
Then let's just have a party in hell, because that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
At least that's, again, go back to the atheists. At least that's where like the old ones were at. Like, oh yeah, hell's going to be fun.
Exactly,
hell's
yeah.
going to be filled with all the fun people.
Yeah.
Well, sure. There's going to be eternal damnation. You're going to be isolated from everyone forever. Literally for all eternity.
Yes, yeah.
And it might not even be boiling hell. It just might be eternal darkness as your spirit sits there for eternity.
Just unmoved spirit. Yeah. No, yeah, exactly. And it's, I don't know. It's something that I think I've just, it's hard for me to reconcile with much of the conservative Catholics with that particular point of view. It's like the 2 point of views with American conservative Catholics that always that I think they begin to think I'm liberal on is that idea is the dare to hope idea and capital punishment. It's like that's the time they always like begin to rag on me. It's like, oh, you're just liberal. It's like, I'm not liberal. It's just that I just I can't imagine being okay with people burning in hell while I just la-di-da rejoice in heaven, and at the same time as I can't be okay with thinking that it is good to have institutional killing of criminals. It's like, yeah, if there are other means, I don't see why one wouldn't take it. It's like, isn't our goal supposed to be for conversion?
I'm a bit more lenient personally on the capital punishment question. And it's been something that I've always thought about for several years, because I've had, again, Jewish school was not amazing.
Well, it's probably pretty good, yeah.
It did open, it did open my mind to like certain ways of thinking that have been helpful.
Yeah,
so, like, there were religious ethics classes, so like at least that equipped me with some way of thinking about these things. And capital punishment was obviously one of these things. And I'm a bit more lenient on it. I don't want to make any definitive statements of support or don't support, but I'm not entirely opposed to it. But I completely understand where the opponents of it come from every time there's an objection to capital punishment. Like, it is a very serious issue of dealing with someone's life.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
It's not easy. It's not a case closed. Like, no, you're not putting someone away for 2 years for stealing something. Like, a person.
Yeah. Yeah, at the end, it's like I always understand the sentiment for it. Like, I've told many people is that if anybody ever killed my kid, like raped and killed them, of course I will find the person and I'd want to torture them and kill them, and I probably would. But in the end of the day, then I'll go to confession. That's the way I look at it. I was like, yeah, but I was still going to confession because I would
Like,
think I did something wrong. I was like, yeah, I killed him. Why? He fucking killed and raped my daughter.
Like, you know the Gary Plachette case?
No, I don't know that one.
Okay, so this takes place in Louisiana
Mm-hmm.
in about the 80s or the 90s, one of the two. And this guy, he's a divorced dad, I believe, and his son eventually gets caught up with this martial arts instructor. Now, the martial arts instructor is a pedophile, so he ends up molesting the son.
Yeah.
And at some point, he kidnaps the son for about 2 years and takes him cross country.
Yeah.
And eventually, he gets caught. He's arraigned for trial. But the father, Gary Plachette, has some connections in the police department there because he was like a former cop. So he eventually talks down some buddies who are doing the arraignment to let him know when the serial rapist is coming to the airport. You can see this on YouTube.
Yeah.
So he's there on a payphone waiting, and he has a revolver ready.
Yeah.
And when his son's rapist comes by, he puts a bullet in his head. And because he had buddies in the police department, he got off with this.
Yeah.
So
it's amazing. Yeah.
And there were a couple more cases. Like there was one in Germany and one in another country, like I think here in America, where the mother, her daughter was raped by somebody, and during the trial she came with a gun and fired on the rapist. So like I get it.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah.
I would also do I would do the same, and I don't even have children yet.
I know,
I would do the same fucking thing. Like if someone did that to my niece, I would fucking do that.
I know,
like,
I know myself. It's like, I know that's going to be something that I would do. But I think the difference is that I have no problem admitting I did something wrong at that point. Like I just wouldn't have problems. I did something wrong.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to sit there and try to justify it.
I don't think capital punishment is a good thing.
Yeah.
I just think it might be a necessary thing.
Yes.
And that's the difference.
It is. Yeah.
And I think that's what it comes down to.
And I think that has always been the church's position. It was not that it was ever a good thing, but it was licit because it was necessary for the protection of others and also for the aid of the individual who committed the crime because you're more motivated to repent if you know death is inevitable. And so it's like it is actually also good for the criminal. Like I get all those arguments. Like I fully understand it, and I think those arguments are quite strong. It's a very appealing argument, but at the same time, I can't reconcile that with the idea that divine justice is mercy, and it's like ultimately that is the best good that we could have is to have mercy on them, not just to have justice. It's like is human justice is revenge. Eye for an eye is human justice, but divine justice, like one of the theological teachings of Christ that was unique to Christianity was that divine justice is mercy, and so with that's the part that I think it's difficult to reconcile with Christian theology. So in the end, that's why I would say I agree with like Pope John Paul II, Pope Benedict, and Pope Francis, all who advocated that it isn't really Christian to think that it is a good thing. You can make a proper case of its licitness, but to say that it's a good thing is kind of go against the Christian idea of justice as mercy. And I do think licitness can change from time to time, because like my other position that also pissed a lot of people off. This is almost getting to like what piss people off position was the polygamous argument, because in polygamy is the same thing. Oh my
God, yeah.
Because like polygamy, if you read the catechism, it's actually about licitness. It speaks bad about bigamy, which is knowingly getting married to two people. While knowing that is not licit, and then but the only part of the catechism that actually speaks of polygamy says that you actually ought to have not concern but sensitivity with that position, because there's a lot of people that do convert that have already been been polygamous or whatever. And also there's like bishops that in Kenya allow it right now. And then there are bishops in South America. Do you remember which war that was in South America where they killed like a large percentage of the men?
Was it? Yeah, that was the war of Paraguay against Uruguay, Argentina, and Brazil.
Yes.
Where 90% of the male population was eliminated.
Yes. And at that point, the bishops made it licit that polygamy couldn't be practiced because there were...
Yeah, it was the only way for the population to get back.
Yes, yeah. So. And so like polygamy has that same licit argumentation that capital punishment has, is that it's actually more determined socially than it is determined by so if it is necessary, it is a practice that can be done, and if it can be done, it then has to be done by certain parameters or whatever, because there's nothing like Aquinas argued, there's nothing intrinsically evil about it. It isn't as if you're violating something by practicing polygamy. It is that it's not prudent because women are jealous and they're unable to be completely fulfilled for in a marriage through it. And so it's these kind of conversations that, you don't have to be a liberal to really analyze it. It's like, you don't have to be a leftist. It's that there's precedence for it. Christ himself never speaks of polygamy. The only thing that Christ ever mentioned about polygamy was one of his what was that? His, what are those narratives called again? Parables. Where, the parables of the 10 virgins. And the 10 virgins are going to meet the bridegroom, and then 5 virgins are led in, and the 5 virgins are rejected out. And so it's like that's the only time you could ever see any kind of discussion of or mention of polygamy within the Gospels or within anything in the New Testament. It's just not really mentioned. There's no conversation of it. And so... yeah, those 3 I think are like my most controversial positions. Is that I personally don't even think they're controversial. They're just kind of going along with what the catechism is, and I think the tradition of the church. That people tend to forget that these things were listed at some point, right? In that war in South America, it was like the bishops had to be like just fuck. There's not enough men, to take on these women, and so I guess you could take on. Some more women in order for you to procreate. Yeah, and
more natives, and that's why Paraguay is so brown.
Yes, yeah. And then like it's the same thing that happened within France. It was like where you didn't want these noblemen and everything to begin to divorce and everything, so they kind of made. Not polygamy, but polyamory, a licit activity in which these people kind of practiced. And it never said that then it was a good thing. It was like, now you're practicing something good, but basically that, some of these reality, one priest kind of told me, it was like, it's always easy, like philosophically, because we were discussing during confession. Sometimes, a lot of time, my confessions with the priest just become philosophical conversations. I'm sure it makes people pissed that's waiting in line.
Of course, it
right.
Does. Most people are so embarrassed to go to their priest for confession that they think like, how can I go a town over? And confess? And you're just like, well. It turns into a philosophical discussion.
Yes.
In the fucking confession booth.
Yeah, because
you're just you're a once in a generation fucking guy, Jeremy.
but like he's a very wise priest, and he just said that sometimes we get lost within the universal principles, right? We look at it and we could easily spot it. You understand the natural law theory, you understand metaphysics, and so you can begin to explicate proper modes of being and proper moral activities that you do, but then you exist in the world, and in existing in the world, it just gets more fucked up, because then sometimes you're just left with shit and shit. It's like, you have this African guys, right? Many of these African people who are converting to Catholicism, like the biggest population that's converting to Catholicism is in Africa. Many of these people have existed in Mohammedan countries, and existing in Mohammedan countries, they have 3 wives, And so now you're left with shit and shit because when these people practice polygamy, they're not like these gross contemporary, polyamorous, like, ooh, I am transgender or whatever. It's like, no, they make
I'm a polycule.
Yeah, I'm a polycule. No, they make separate covenants with each one of these women. And they have like 5 or 10 kids with each one of these women. And so they're converting to Catholicism. They have a responsibility to like 20 kids. And then what's the bishop going to say? You got to abandon 2 families. You got to be a stereotypical black nigger and just abandon 2 families. It's like, no.
That's you got to censor that for YouTube. Holy shit. I knew this was going to happen. I knew one of us was going to slip up at some point. I knew one of us was going to say the no word. I hate that we can't say that fucking word.
Yeah.
If this was 2005, we could fucking get away with it. If this was Howard Stern, we could fucking get away with it.
Right after the stream is done, I'll go back and I'll edit it out really quick. Let me see.
You gotta. But it is... Yeah,
it's like 2 hours in. Yeah,
like, what are you gonna? If you're a priest, we're gonna do say like, hey, yeah, I know you entered a natural marriage with these people.
Yeah.
You gotta abandon these 2 families and never talk to them again.
Yes, yeah.
Never financially support them again. This is the Christ-like thing to do. Just abandon your family entirely. And never see them again. No, of course you're not gonna say that. What?
No, yeah. In life, you just get stuck with 2 shitty situations, and you have to choose the best option of the shitty situation, and that's it.
Yeah. And that's the thing of like living in the world. You cannot be philosophically correct 100% of the time because the world is not like.
Yeah.
We've all lying is bad. Lying is one of the worst.
Yes.
Sins.
Yeah.
It's worse than murder in a lot of cases.
Yes.
But have we never lied for our own convenience?
Of course.
Literally, the alternative is so fucking bad that you would have wished you lied. Like, I try not to lie.
Yes,
But do we do it?
Yes.
Of course. Because literally, the alternative can be so bad.
Yeah.
That if you don't lie, you're going, well, like, what's the point?
Yeah.
So, you have to live in the world.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yes, of course, you're going to sin at some point.
Yep, yeah.
You cannot avoid this. It is in the same way that the average American commits at least 3 felonies a day, and they don't even realize it.
Right. Yes, I do it purposefully.
Me as well. But I once sold cryptocurrency to a 17-year-old so he could buy speed off the dark web. Again, my atheist days were fucking crazy.
Yeah, this sounded incredible.
But, if the average American commits 3 felonies a day, what does the average person do in regards to sin? So, like, you eventually, you don't even realize you're doing it.
Yes,
you do it because that's literally what fallen man is.
Yes,
so, you're going to fuck up. And if you're converting to something, like you're converting from a religion, let's say you have 4 wives, if you're financially capable enough.
Yep.
And you're convinced of the truth. What is a priest gonna do? Like, because they cannot tell you to divorce either. They literally cannot tell you to divorce.
Yes, yeah. And then just abandon them. It's like, what's up, bye guys? I'm Catholic now. I'm just choosing this one because she's the youngest and hottest one. And so it's like what options do you have? It becomes ridiculous.
The priest can't do this because he can't tell you which one to divorce, which one to leave.
The
priest cannot tell you which wife to leave.
Yes.
Unless it happened within his church.
Yes,
he saw you marry the first one, and then it's like you come like, hey, can you marry me to the second one? And he'll tell you no.
Yeah.
No, I cannot. But if you converted with 4 wives, what's this poor priest gonna do?
Yes, yeah.
Because this man probably never had pussy either, so he doesn't even know the stakes.
Yes. And then this guy's already been living this way. He has like 10, like five kids with one wife, 3 kids with another one, you know, and he's got all this shit going on. He's already used to fucking them, and then he becomes Catholic, and then shit, he just like starts fucking them still. This guy got another baby. Yeah, how's it going, guys? And it's like, that's life. And it's just like, you know.
Did you watch Father Stu?
I did, yes, yeah. That was a good movie.
What a good fucking
I know,
movie.
I loved it, yeah.
I almost cried in that shit, but like
I did too, yeah.
Thinking like, imagine how like, yeah, Father Stu, what a perfect example of a degenerate. Only started RCIA because he wanted some Mexican pussy.
Yeah,
respectable.
It's beautiful.
And he's in there like doing priest classes with people who, since their birth, their parents want to become priests and they don't want to do it. And he's like, he's got this calling. He's putting pussy away.
Yes.
And it's like, imagine how many priests never had that calling of like,
I know.
I need to put pussy away.
Yeah.
I need to stop with this and become like, I think it's the Saint of Firearms was an Italian priest in the 1800s.
Yeah.
That was a womanizer.
Yeah.
He was the most popular guy in town. He got deathly ill, devoted himself to Christ, and when he got better, he threw it all away, went back to his old ways. He got deathly ill again. He devoted himself once more, and he died as a priest.
Yes,
and this is a man who put pussy away twice. He was getting it left and right. So you get these guys that they never had to deal with it.
Yes,
they never had to think about it. They were always like, I'm going to be a priest. It is what it is. And they got to tell you how to deal with your 4 marriages?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I could not give you advice on how to deal with fucking juggling 2 women because I don't have that in me. Shit, I can't handle 1 woman. Fuck me. I can't handle 2, 3, 4 women.
Yeah.
I couldn't give you fucking advice on a priest who never had sex to it. Like, good on him. He's not the expert here.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
he's the expert on what to do to get to heaven, but not on women.
Yeah, and I really do think in those cases we just have to be charitable and be like, shit, the priest has to be pastoral and be like, you just have to make best with the situation that you're in. And when you're found yourself in that situation, sometimes you just got to keep going with it. And what if you like fucked a whore and then a baby came out and then she didn't want to take care of it? Now you're a single dad. It's the same thing. It's like, well, yeah, you just have to do what you can, because not everybody is presented with a perfect scenario. And if you're not presented with a perfect scenario, it's like you just make do with the universal principles that you can discover through reason and apply it the best you can within an imperfect world, because that's where we find ourselves in. And I think that's that's the one thing that within Catholicism, I think they teach so well. But I don't like the division that we have right now in the church with that. I don't like this like conservative and liberal division that exists. It's like you have these priests who is saying that sodomy is okay, that everything is LGBTQ, wearing the pride flag, and they're having like the rainbow vestures on when they go and say, I'm going to say a non-denominational mass. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like, that's bullshit. And then you have like the hyper traditionalist, like that one guy, Dr. what's his name? The one that Grant keeps dragging on, who wrote a post on why is there a microphone and speakers in the church? I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh,
like
the horror! How dare they hear you? Oh no!
Yes. Why'd you have lights? Where's the candles and the and the essence and myrrh? I mean, shit. What you got? You guys have electricity? Why you guys like have electricity in here?
It's so insane.
Yes.
It's so yes. A lot of modern churches could be designed better.
Of course.
If you look up the Archdiocese of Miami, it's fucking ugly.
Yeah.
I've looked up the only churches that do traditional Latin Mass in Miami.
Yeah.
Are basically warehouses.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the ones that do Norvis Ordo are some pretty beautiful fucking churches, like
Yeah.
in Miami Beach, and it's like, okay, I am because it doesn't seem like they're doing that weird shit out of the Chicago suburbs where they have
Right,
like
of
a
course
black
not, yeah.
soul band doing
Yes,
Celebrate.
yeah.
It's like, no, this seems like a legitimately Reverend Norvis Ordo.
Yeah, and there's
Where's
many of
the
them.
issue?
Yes, exactly, yeah.
Where's the fucking issue? So it's like, oh no, yeah, of course, some churches could be built better. Some of them could have better acoustics, but okay, you're dealing with what you have.
Exactly,
You didn't
yes,
build this
yeah.
church.
Yeah.
It's got shitty acoustics. You're not gonna have a speaker in there?
Yeah.
Have everyone hear your fucking homil? What?
Yes,
what?
yeah.
How is this an issue? Oh, I Taylor Marshall has not been on my radar till like about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
And now because of fucking Grant, he's on there every 10 seconds. I hate it. It's like,
I know.
you know,
Some things he says are good,
shut
and then other ones are just like, dude, you gotta calm down. And it's just
and that's the thing with trans, right?
yeah.
That's the thing with trans. Like they get it right sometimes.
Yeah.
Like yes, in some cases the TLM is better than the NO.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah.
Like if you get that Chicago suburb where they have some black soul band doing Celebrate while every
Yes, yeah.
parishioner is in a mask.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I can see why you would say TLM is better.
Yeah.
But is TLM the same mass they were doing in 800 AD?
Yeah.
No.
Of course not. Yeah.
It's not.
It evolved.
So it's like,
yeah.
ugh.
Yeah. And so
it's like, you know,
I feel
he
like
who shall not be named is also like that.
yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Who is not in the new chat.
Yes.
Pope Francis is the Pope because he's a punishment to Catholics for not being pious enough. How can you talk about the Pope like that?
No, I know.
I'm not
Yes. Yeah.
confirmed, and it's like, how? So I don't know. Have you seen TLE Burger Kiss on the timeline of Twitter?
Not that I remember. I could have, but yeah, I don't recognize the name.
Yeah, he usually has a bird-related profile picture.
Okay.
And Bird is a personal friend of mine.
Okay.
He actually moved from New York down to Miami.
Oh, awesome.
He is I don't like the word cradle Catholic or the term because it like implies you fell out at some point, and he didn't.
Yeah, you're just born and raised Catholic.
He is an Italian American. He's very, he's always been Catholic. He's very well versed in it. He's very well versed, especially with like the early church fathers. That's his thing.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't care about too much after like doctors or anything. He's like all in on the early church fathers.
Yeah.
And this guy, even though he's like a modern American Catholic, all this shit, you never hear him disrespecting the Pope. He disagrees with the Pope. You never hear him disrespecting the Pope.
Yes, exactly. That's good. Yeah.
To him, it is exactly what the Pope is, the vicar of Christ.
Yeah.
You are not disrespected. You can disagree.
Yes.
You're allowed to disagree.
Of course.
You cannot disrespect it.
Yeah.
You cannot insult him. You cannot deride him. You cannot do any of that bullshit.
Yeah.
It is insanity that the trads, quote unquote, get away with this bullshit. Like Marcel Lefebvre is excommunicated.
Yeah.
And the trads are not. Like,
No, and that's why I find it so unfortunate. And it's almost as if I think their intellect. Let me grab a beer too, real quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like their intellect got in the way. I got to the point in which they think that they are the proper interpreters of Catholicism. To the point that now their pride begins to reject even the authority of the church, and that's really, and it's just unfortunate because many of them are smart. It's like you listen to them, it's like they get it, right? They're not dumb people, but their pride is so vile, and I think it's just so evil that now we live in such a divided church that the liberals literally convinced the conservatives to hate their own pope, and it's like
it's insane.
It's horrible. Yeah, it's horrible. It's like no, you shouldn't follow that.
It's like if you actually like look at what Pope Francis says on paper, like from his official papal position,
Yep.
where is he heretical? Where
Exactly.
is he wrong?
Yeah.
He has said the right thing every single fucking time.
Yep.
Because he said like the trying to subvert traditional marriage is satanic.
Yes. Yep.
He said all sorts of things. It's like, yeah, okay, sure, maybe he fumbles a little here and there when he's pressured to actually speak in public, but whatever. The Pope is not a position of. He's not a politician.
No.
He's
Yeah.
not there to speak in front of a microphone. He is a priest. He's a theologian.
He actually has not said anything. He has not said anything that someone like Pope St. John Paul II hasn't said. And that's the crazy thing for me. It's like many of these trads talk great about Pope St. John Paul II, but when I was a teenager in the 90s, the trads hated Pope St. John Paul before he was a saint. They hated Pope John Paul II. They talked about how he was a liberal. I remember one time he went like to a rock concert with white sneakers, and they were like, "Why is he wearing sneakers? And why is he going to a rock concert? You know, it's so bad." They were pissed that he put the Luminous Mysteries in the
wasn't he also? It was Ratzinger was a skier, right? Like he would go on to ski.
Oh,
trips.
right. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And
so it's like, yeah. People get pissed about that. And it's like, yeah, but was he actually a bad pope?
Yes.
Like, did he
actually do something heretical? I mean, did he? Like, we had literally popes that killed other popes, you know, to become a pope.
There was the there was the Borgia papacy. There was the pornocracy. There was the Avignon papacy, where they literally were ready to kill cardinals for electing the wrong pope. It's like. Are we really at the low point in the papacy?
Yeah,
that
because he wants to be compassionate to some people. There's
not been a good pope since Benedict X.
Yeah,
it's like, or Saint Pius X. It's like, no, again, the Borgia papacy. Like, if you wanted to put an actual low point, you'd probably go to the Borgias or somewhere around there. And like, everything that went on with them. That's a low point. And the church is still around.
Exactly, yeah.
If it survived the fucking Borgias, who were crypto Jew conversos, then
like mafiosos.
I think it can survive anything.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like what? Okay, yeah. Francis said some things about climate change on his Twitter. That he doesn't actually run, because let's be real here. What public figure actually runs their Twitter these days? So he's got some staffers running that probably aren't even like ordained in the church.
Yeah.
It's just some staffers. Okay, he said some things about climate change. He said some things about wealth distribution. Okay, so did G.K. Chesterton.
Yes, yeah.
Who's shitting on Chesterton? Like, who is?
I know.
He is the father of distributism. Who's shitting on him?
Yep.
Like, is free market capitalism a Catholic tenet?
Of course not.
Like, the church has already disavowed communism.
Yes.
And said it's an excommunicable offense to be a communist.
Yep.
And it's not been overturned as far as I can tell.
Yep.
So, what more do you want church to do? Want him to excommunicate G.K. Chesterton after his death?
Yeah,
for coming up with distributism? It's like, where are you guys? Does the church have to be laissez-faire, enlightenment, French capitalist for you to be okay with this?
That's what it seems like.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yep. I think it's extremely ridiculous. I remember when they were getting so mad with Amoris Laetitia, and so I had to just read it because I was like, what everybody is saying does not sound right to me. That the Pope is actually saying this, and you read it, and it's like they're actually really. What did he say in there? To have compassion with people that got divorced, and okay, how is that a bad message? We should have compassion. They you know, they have sinned. Anybody that has sinned, we should have compassion for them. Like, why is that such a horrible thing to say?
So insane.
Yeah, there's, and so
it's so insane because like again, find me where Pope Francis actually contradicted Catholic doctrine.
yeah,
It's difficult. It's difficult because you can't actually find it because every time that he's spoken actually from the station of the Pope,
yep,
it has been within like what was it recently they were freaking out at him for like extramarital affairs are not that serious of a sin.
yes, yeah.
Like
He's not from Argentina, of course.
Yeah, that was the Catholic teaching for what 1,500 years.
Yes.
Still Trent.
Yeah. And he comes from a country where he probably heard it in confession every week from the same guy. He's like, hey.
Yeah. My grandpa was not even Catholic, but he was a Frenchman living in Argentina.
Yeah.
Do you think he practiced fidelity?
Yeah, no. My grandfather from Peru with like 17 different kids from 7 or 9 different women. I can't remember the exact number. But, you know, he remained Catholic until death. He got last rites and everything.
Yeah.
It's like, that's, you know, he never divorced his wife. She kicked him out, you know? And then I remember I spoke to him on the phone. He said it all in Spanish, but I'll just say in English. He was like, you know, I just asked him about his family and everything. He was like, yeah, he said, I never understood why they always got so mad at me because I always loved them all. It wasn't he was like, it wasn't as if I didn't like.
I love that because like
Yeah.
my grandma has poured hot oil on my grandpa's mistresses.
That's
like,
amazing.
That's just how it was, man.
Yes,
that's
yes.
just how it was.
That's
like, oh, you caught him in bed with someone else. You didn't pour hot oil on him.
Yes.
You did it on the woman he was with. Like, come on. That's the fucking culture. Yeah, of course, Pope Francis is because it's true.
It is, yes.
Like, okay, yes. Yes, cheating on your wife is a sin.
Yep.
No fucking doubt about it.
Yeah.
But Americans are so bad at ranking sins.
They are. They're the worst.
It's impossible. It's impossible for them to rank a sin.
Yes, yeah.
Like, okay, what's worse, stealing a candy bar or armed robbery?
Yeah.
I think that's pretty obvious if you ask me.
Yes, yeah.
What's worse, premarital sex or raping somebody?
Right,
Well,
yes.
pretty obvious to me.
Yes.
What's worse, beating someone up or killing them? Again, pretty obvious.
Yep, yeah.
So,
It's the same thing like with the marriage and divorce thing. It's like, what's worse, having a mistress or getting divorced? And it's like, obviously one of them is worse. Yes, it's like it should be obvious, but they don't see it that way. It's like you and I know whenever you and I talk, it goes back to some of this, but like the Arnold Schwarzenegger position, right? And the reason why it makes me so upset is like, okay, you have a man who had his mistress. She was hideous. I don't know why, but still, probably was his mistress because like she took care of the kids, and so like men naturally are sexually drawn to the females that actually take care of the children. And then he had a kid with her, and then he financially supported her and the child, and he just just kept going with life, and then Maria Shriver would just decide to be a bitch. You know, it's like
if I ever had a mistress. If I ever had a mistress, she'll be more attractive than that. Man.
Yeah, I know.
The Jewish term is a shiksa, you know, like a cleaning lady, but it's also like a goisha.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The shiksa, like she'll be more attractive than that.
Like,
oh
yeah, she should be,
like,
yeah.
Come on, if I'm gonna cheat, and I'm in that position,
it has to be worth it at that point.
I know how we're put like. You go for the fucking layup. You've been in the prime of your career for 20 years.
Yeah.
Nah, dude, I'm not going for the layup. I'm gonna go for someone hot.
Yes, yeah.
Like, let me tell you, I got soft in a girl recently because she was fucking ugly. Because she was fucking ugly. She didn't have a fucking chin. She didn't do foreplay. I got soft in her.
Yeah.
That's my fucking confession.
Yeah.
It just wasn't there, man. Where the fuck was that spark? I didn't get it up for an ugly chick.
Just kick her out and get the fuck out of here, man.
Oh, that's pretty much how it went.
Yeah, good.
It's just like, okay, for the like, maybe Schwarzenegger had a little bit of Viagra. You could get it up for that, but
I don't know how he found her
bitch like
attractive,
that?
man. Because they even showed a picture when she was younger.
don't know.
I mean, it was just like, no, it never. She was always she had that beast-like face, But I really do think it just.
Kennedy.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, when you see many of these guys, I remember I was texting this to a few people today, actually. But it was the same thing, like, what. When you look at these more like hyper masculine men, because there's the same thing like with Saint Mel Gibson. I call him Saint, but anyways, with Saint Mel Gibson, it's the same thing. Like he just fucked around too much, and his like Presbyterian wife finally got tired of it, and then she like left him and everything, and then he got that relationship with that Russian chick. I think he had a kid with her. And then, the whole blow
that's the one that he left a voicemail to, right?
Yes, yeah, I left a voicemail. And so now he's like with this like 27-year-old chick, and I think he got her pregnant too. It's like, you see that shit? It's like respect, right? There's like
Mel is up there with Clint Eastwood for me.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Where how the Clint has a daughter that's like my age,
Yes.
meaning he had her in his like late 60s, almost 70.
Yes,
He
yeah.
had another kid. That is a man dedicated to the fucking game. Dude.
I know, yes.
He is in it
It's
win
beautiful. Yeah.
He has.
And
so amazing.
And like
Also, BB King.
Yo, really? Yeah.
BB King had like 16 illegitimate children.
Did he? See, that's a man right there. That's
my God.
Yeah.
And he paid for all of them. He
Yes.
did not leave a single one hanging.
Yes. I think that's the one thing that like a lot of this manosphere stuff that's going on. The one thing that really irritates me about it is that none of those guys are having kids. And I think that and it's just less masculine. It's like when you see Andrew Tate says many things that are right. Like, I don't understand the hatred for him, but I don't think he's that great. And I think that the reason why...
he's very mediocre.
He is. And I think one of the things that make him mediocre is like, like he brags about fucking all these women. And I look at him, it's like, and you... And none of them wanted your baby? It's like, shit, you know how often it has happened in my life when a woman says, I want you to be my baby daddy? It's like, that's what normally happens when you are a more like hyper masculine man, is that these women just want, I don't know if it's the same thing in Argentina, but in Peru, my mom was telling me this when I was young. And she was like, the way you could tell a woman actually loves you, or the way you could tell a woman actually finds you attractive, is that they want to have your kid. If they don't want to have your kid, it's because they actually don't like you that much. And so when and so when I see someone like Andrew Tate, it was like, you in a way repulse women. You repulse women because none of them actually want to have your kid. You have someone like Elon Musk. Women just want his baby.
Oh my God. Yeah, he just...
You know what I mean? Yes.
Yeah, he just literally... He walks up to a woman and she's like, okay, give me twins.
Yes, it's like, no, just put a baby inside of me right now. I want that.
Clint Eastwood. I went to his Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
You go to children. It starts with at least 8.
At least 8, yes.
At least.
Yes.
Because this is a man who, and again, to go back to TLE Bird Orchist.
Yeah.
Bird. He had a theory like 2 years ago. If you're a philosopher.
Yeah.
And you never had children. And you're not a priest.
Yeah.
Your philosophy is worthless.
Yes. Nice. Yep.
If it never had any bearing on the future, but you also were never a priest, so you never swore any celibacy. You just chose to not have children.
Yes.
Your philosophy is fucking worthless.
Yes. Yeah.
What is it good for? It doesn't carry on anybody else.
Yep.
It's an entirely new philosophy. So, I don't think Hegel didn't have kids. Kant
I don't think
definitely didn't have kids.
No. Wittgenstein, I think, was a faggot. The same thing with Bertrand Russell. I think it was a fag. Many people.
Oh God, I hope so.
Yeah, many people think that him and Wittgenstein were kind of an item, but nobody can prove it.
Did Heidegger have kids?
I don't know if Heidegger did.
Was it Martin Heidegger?
Martin. Yep.
Martin Heidegger. Let's see. Era 20th region Western philosophy institutions. Doctor. Notable ideas. Heideggerian terminology. Dasein, Gestalt, ontotheology, ontological difference, existentials, ecstase, segetics, hermeneutic circle, Althea. Isn't that a Grateful Dead song?
Is it really?
Althea? Is it Grateful Dead? I gotta find this. Shit. Yeah, Althea. Not Althea, but Althea is a Grateful Dead song. Can't play it because YouTube will copyright strike that, but disclosure, fundamental ontology, forgetfulness of being, or Seinvergessenheit, dwelling, wohnen. Language as the vehicle through which the question of being can be unfolded. Language speaks. Art's ability to set up a strife between world and earth. Wow! Kill him! Christ, dude!
Yeah.
If you were known for your contributions to hermeneutics and existentialism, you don't deserve to be in the canon. Disappear.
Yes. Yeah. No, I agree.
Disappear. I don't know, because you're not an economics guy. Are you familiar with Ludwig von Mises?
Yeah. I'm familiar with him actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He and Heidegger look like fraternal twins.
Yeah. I never thought of that, but yeah.
They look like it looks.
Yeah.
It's oh my god, I hate both of them.
Yeah.
Okay. In my libertarian days, I had like my Mises face, but like the guy didn't actually say anything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, humans act according to what they want. Wow, what an insightful intuition. Great. You tell me if I want something, I act in accordance with that. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sure no one ever thought of that before, right?
No, yeah. My brother was a poli-sci major focusing on economics. So that's the only reason why I know somewhat of it. But he was never a libertarian. He was a communist, and so he went full commie. Yeah, I know. Yeah, but he introduced me to a lot of
liberation theology guy.
Somewhat, yeah. He never called himself that, but yeah, I would say his communism was closer to that South American liberation theology than like European communism.
Oh no.
Yeah, I know it was bad.
Oh, that's terrible. Yeah. No, I got through Mises through a libertarian phase, and I tried to read Human Action. And man, if you ever wanted Kant but worse, it's Human Action by Ludwig.
Is it really? Mises. I've never read that. So
how many times you can fit a priori on a page?
Oh, really?
It's
so
astounding.
Yeah.
He goes full like. So here's the thing, like, here's the insight to the Rothbard Mises distinction in that weird gay loser virgin sphere. Rothbard is still somewhat of an Aristotelian.
Okay.
Because he had that Ayn Rand influence. He had some natural law influence.
Yeah.
Eventually, Hans Hermann Hoppe takes influence from the Spanish scholastics. But
is that why is that the reason why so many Catholics like Hoppe, the libertarian Catholics?
Yeah, there is. Yeah. If you read or you listen to Democracy They Got It Filled, which I don't recommend because it sucks.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, a monarchy's better than a democracy, but anarchy's better than all of that. What's your proof? You don't have it.
Yeah.
But he does draw from like Bertrand de Juvenel and from the Spanish scholastics and all that. So there is some basis in actual political philosophers and actual theologians and all that. So, but Rothbard draws somewhat on Aristotelian thought. Mises is a pure Kantian.
Oh, okay.
He loves Kant. There's nothing else there.
Yeah.
Man learned the term a priori and just went with it.
Yeah.
And if in my purest libertarian phase I couldn't finish Human Action, let that tell you something. It is the worst book. I could probably read City of God and get through it. And
Yeah, yeah.
not I could never get through Human Act. It is that fucking bad.
Yeah. No, yeah, if it's similar to Kant is a rough read. I've read the ones I've completed was Critique of Pure Reason and Critique of Judgment. And the other ones of any other of Kant's writing, I just read majority of it, but I was like, I can't keep going with it. So if he's anything like Kant, that'll be rough.
It's he is a pure Kantian. And Kant died a virgin. So,
yes, yeah. I've read many weird things
had
about.
A wife.
Did he? Yeah.
He did, but Kant died a virgin.
Yeah.
And Nietzsche, out of all of these stupid continental guys, at least like Ecce Homo and the Genealogy of Morals actually is something to read there. I don't.
Oh,
like
there
Nietzsche.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't like all the contemporary Nietzscheans like Bronze Age perverts.
Oh yeah, they're stupid. I'm sorry. I don't want to be like.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
It so bad. I can't. Have you ever heard Bap's voice?
No, I've never heard his voice. No.
So he actually is Romanian, but
is
he?
The
most not. It's up there with fuck. Who's that communist guy? His name is escaping me now. Who's always sniffling in interviews. Talks about toilets and
he's a communist, you said?
Zizek.
Zizek.
Yeah. He has a voice like Zizek.
Is it similar to that? Yeah.
Oh, God, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate BAP. I came to art statue and museum. Like come on. Okay, Nietzsche was less pathetic than this. And
definitely.
Once and died of syphilis.
Yes. No, like with the whole BAP thing, like with the whole BAP thing, I find similar irritants that I have with the entire like manosphere type of blog. I think some people think that I'm trying to defend it. I never really tried to defend it. It's just I do think they get a glimpse of what is accurate and true, and those parts I really do connect with some of their like writings or commentaries. But ultimately, what they're always lacking is a more full sense of masculinity, the more full sense of many of these things that I think when you look at other figures, they're just more pronounced. And I really do. I'm dying
to take a piss, so I gotta really.
Oh yeah, no problem, man. Yeah.
I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah. For anybody listening, we will continue pretty soon. Hopefully you're enjoying this. And if Grant listens, hopefully you're enjoying England as you abandoned the podcast for your vacation. I actually could see that Grant is awake and online, but probably not listening to this podcast. Saw that that Grant is on fucking Twitter.
Yeah, it's like it is insane to think about. It's a at like 10 in the morning. Bro.
Yeah, I
He's been
know.
texting me.
Has he? So
But yeah,
has he listened to? Has he listened to the
he
episode or no?
He did. He did. He was like, haha, good call recording with Jeremy. Sorry I was asleep when you guys set it up. I told him it's going well too. He said, yeah, I checked out for a second. Glad it worked out. Oh, man, but yeah. The BAP, like that's the thing with BAP and the Manosphere and all that. They get a stereotype of what masculinity is.
Yeah.
They work with that in their head. They get an idea of like, it's basically like watching a Schwarzenegger movie in the 80s and thinking like, oh, that is exactly what masculinity is.
Yes, yeah.
So they're like, currently the BAP sphere is obsessed with raiding pirate bands. And
oh wow, that's bad.
It's like,
it's getting more pathetic. Yeah, that's the thing about it. It's like, getting more and more pathetic, and part of it's because it's in the end it's childish. It's like the one thing that really does like bring out hyper masculinity in the end. I don't mean to like keep ragging on this because there's probably a lot of listeners that don't have kids, but really is the child aspect of it. It's like you can't keep talking about like building the muscle and getting the pussy and then not having responsibility. It's like the responsibility aspect of it is really what transform your like childlike behaviors of quasi masculinity to real masculinity. And so when you see figures like Mel Gibson, it's like or Clint Eastwood and stuff, it's like you get like this almost like father-like respect for them. It's like, no, I just respect them as a dude. And the more that they never bring up the whole child thing, it's like the more that they defeat their own movement. It's like, no, they should be talking about it. So someone like, Nick Cannon and them, it's like these people encompass the hyper masculine more because they're doing that, and then they're actually supporting them. They're supporting their families. They're supporting these children, and they're doing all these things because, going back to the Peru ideas, like, that you are sexually appealing and that you are masculine to the female when they want your baby inside of them. If none of these women want your baby inside of you, there's something wrong with them. Wrong. Yeah, there's something. Yeah, it's very, very wrong. And so it's like it's probably the main part of the message. Besides like their weird obsession with like paganism. It's like, what the fuck are you talking?
And with the male physique, it's paganism. The male physique they
almost becomes gay.
It's always strange. Yeah, it's always strange. Like you so desperately want to see other men's physiques. Like,
yes, yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Okay, you guys are obsessed with fitness. This is not unique to you. Like,
look at Elon Musk without a shirt. He looks like a beached whale.
Yeah, it's pathetic.
It's pathetic.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yes, but which women wants their babies inside of them is those guys. It's like there's something about them. It's like that's masculinity, and if they don't get that, it's like they have like this childlike understanding of masculinity, not an actual understanding of it, and that's when it becomes more pathetic. It's like it's become more pathetic. I don't have the same visceral like hatred for them that I think some people have, but it's more like a laughable. You guys are just these guys are just kind of losers. It's like you're a loser, and that's the part that I find irritating. It was like no, just
like Napoleon. Napoleon was like between our height. He was like 5'7".
Yes, yeah.
And this man commanded such a fear throughout Europe.
Yeah.
That the Pope, who didn't want to attend his coronation, showed up for the coronation. The Pope.
Yes, yeah.
It was Duke Wellington said Napoleon was worth 10,000 men on the battlefield. Like,
yes, yeah.
That's masculinity.
It is exactly, yeah.
Invoked. He was a 5'7" little guy, and he invoked fear from people who was like, even at the time, over 6 feet, like Duke Wellington.
Yes,
so like, yes, and this pretty much an urchin from Corsica.
Yes,
Nobody
Yep.
who served in the French military after the revolution. Like, yeah, it's insane. And yeah, like Elon Musk looks at a woman and she wants his babies. Because look at that latest one. It's like literally just his assistant, and he knocks her up. Clint Eastwood, at least 8 fucking children.
Yep.
You know, I looked it up recently to see what was the French national anthem before Le Marseillaise.
Or what was it?
Because I was curious.
Yeah.
Did they have one? And turns out, yes, the March of Henry IV. And the lyrics are the most French thing I've ever heard. Long live Henry IV. Long live this valiant king. This fourfold devil of 3 talents. Of drinking, fighting, and womanizing. Of drinking, fighting, and womanizing. The hell with wars, grudges, and partisanship. Like our fathers, let us sing as true friends. Clink the glasses, the roses, and the lilies. Let us sing the refrain. They will sing in 1,000 years. May God maintain his descendants in peace. Until we take the moon with our teeth. Long live France. Long live King Henry. To Reims we dance, singing as they do in Paris. Long live France. Long live King Henry. So they were literally just singing about how their king could fuck.
Yes. And
it was just a fucking womanizer.
Yes.
Dude. Like,
and the beautiful thing about like
that is what you lauded.
These older, like more womanizing type of dudes is that they were populating the planet. They were like having all these kids. And I think that's the part that I really, really dislike about like the contemporary, you know, polycule and all that shit. It's like, you guys are losers. Yeah, you guys are losers. And you know, it's like you're ugly, you're gross. You're not just, it's not that lion
down the crypto market.
Yeah.
It's ugly, gross people.
It is. It's disgusting. It's not anything like that animalistic guy who has like his empire, his pride or whatever. It just has his women and his children everywhere, and he's producing something. That's a kingdom.
Yeah. Compare the Wolf of Wall Street or the guy that Ray Liotta is doing in Goodfellas.
Right,
Sam
yes.
Bankman-Fried of FTX.
Yes.
And it's like, he got a girl who was, because they found her Tumblr account and they found her dating profiles. She had both oral and genital herpes. And said it in her dating profile. And then they found her weird, like, so you guys had Yarvin on this show.
Yeah.
And Yarvin back in the day worked on, you guys really should get that again. His Baltimore accent was insane, but he used to work on this like social media thing called Urbit that is still used by like tech nerds.
Yeah.
And that woman that he blew it all on with the 2 types of herpes was on there and talking about like this weird guy, this weird looking motherfucker being good in bed. And it was like, she was, it's worse than a telenovela. Like, you could not write this.
Yes, yeah.
Because she's like, she helped him scam people out of millions of dollars worth of crypto.
Wow.
And then she's like, yeah, I'm the victim. You know, I don't know why I did it, but he was good in bed. And you look at this guy, he's got a Jufro like this. And he's built like the Pillsbury Doughboy. And it's like, oh, that's good in bed?
Yes.
That's good. I must be a fucking sex god then. I must be fucking Eros. Jesus Christ. Holy shit, dude.
No, there's
you know, I don't know if I might have children in Ecuador. I might have children in France. I don't know.
Yeah, you know, of course,
out,
right. Yes.
I think I do. I might. I didn't use condoms.
Yeah, of course I had condoms. Yeah, that shit. I never fucking use that shit, man. That's for fags.
No. Wow, that's why I got like fucking 20 kids. Fucking every episode, you got a new fucking baby in the studio. I see. This is Luis Andres Mijito Romero Cubas. He is new. He is new to the family. He will run a ceviche restaurant. And
I'm
Nikki,
such a
Sofia, Andrea, Maria, Gomez, Luisa, Guadalupe. She will do it. She will do the goat farming. Any family, we need alpaca. We need alpaca for our Peruvian family. See.
I'm such a spick. But yeah, it's true.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Fuck, I'm trying to get off cigarettes, but I'm laughing so hard that my smoker's cough is coming out.
Oh man.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You got like 20 fucking kids. Okay, you know what? If the Ecuadorian girl and a French girl that I did not use a condom with had kids, I'm still at 2. You're at 1. Your goal differential is fucking insane, dude.
Yeah, one of my best friends just keeps saying that I have my own kingdom.
You really do, man. You got your own little serfdom going on. You got your little fiefdom.
Yeah.
Your little serfs. If only half of them weren't like autistic, then it would work better. Oh, Christ. Oh, man.
Oh, I have to sign in. Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, it's annoying.
What the fuck were we even talking about? Oh, yeah, Bap.
Oh, yeah, Bap.
Kids.
I know.
He was a Leo Strauss scholar, dude. They doxed him. They found his fucking real name and his like college.
Oh, they did?
Thesis. Yeah, he was a Leo Strauss guy. So that's fucking pathetic, dude.
Yeah.
Like, do you know who Carl Schmidt is?
I heard that name. Who is he? Carl Schmidt.
So he was like similar to Heidegger, but instead of doing like weird time theory, he was a political philosopher. He had a Roman Catholic background. He was German, and he joined the Nazi Party at some point.
Yeah. Okay.
And he was like the political theory guy. He's the friend-enemy distinction guy. He's like, oh yeah, in politics, you have friends and you have enemies. Ooh, crazy idea. Ooh, in Latin and Greek, there were different words for enemies. So when Christ said, love thy enemy, he was talking about your personal one, not your political one. Like you would never go to the church in 1200 and say, hey, love thy enemy. What are you doing crusading to protect those pilgrims? Why don't you love them? So he's that guy. Where's it going with? Oh, yeah. I was reading one of his books, and there was an entire fucking foreword by Leo Strauss.
Okay, yeah.
And I skipped right over that shit. What the fuck do I care about some Jewish fucking neocon from the 70s?
Yeah.
What does that have to do with my life? Oh yeah, one of the most prominent people apparently in the current right wing, like the French right wing, is some weird neo-pagan Nietzschean Straussian guy who loves seeing men's bodies and really hates Christians for some reason.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, man, I rag on Bap too much.
No, it's good. He needs to be ragged on. I think a lot of these people within the manosphere needs to be ragged on a little bit. Many of them seem reactionary. Like it's sometimes when I see someone like Andrew Tate, you know, he's so dorky that he looks like the kind of person that was like probably really fucked over by a woman at some point, and so he overcompensates by all these things that he thinks is masculine in the world, and then it's like there's a difference between like actually just being confident in your existence and as a man, and then being someone that tries to compensate by certain behaviors, and they try to go with it, and women can tell. I think women can sniff it out, you know. And I think that's why some of these people who, because when you look at Leonardo DiCaprio, he's not really that good looking. He really isn't.
No, the guy's a fucking slob.
Yeah, he's kind of gross looking, but women still find him attractive because he has an aura about himself that is just it's
the charisma.
Yeah, his charisma and his confidence with himself.
You can fake confidence, you cannot fake charisma.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
because charisma is like, how do you work a room? And actors have like, why do people still care about George Clooney to this day? Like,
right? Yeah.
Why in Anno Domini 2022 are there people who still care about George Clooney? Well, because as much as some people might hate him,
yeah,
he has a charisma.
He does.
Why is Steve Carell making a fucking comeback?
Yes, yeah.
Like, because he's my fucking height. He's a Jew in Hollywood. It's like,
yeah.
He did not have he started in the 40-year-old virgin. It's like,
but he is Catholic.
Why is he making?
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah.
Because I know he was Jewish.
Yeah, he's Catholic. He was, him and his wife are Catholic. I mean, obviously they don't have that many kids. I think they don't have like 2 or 3, but yeah.
That is crazy. Let's see. What's this? Oh, early life section. Let's see. Oh, wow! I actually got raised Roman Catholic. Jesus Christ.
I don't know if his like ethnicity is Jewish, and his ethnicity might be Jewish, but I know he was raised Catholic.
He's raised Roman, like Polish, German, Irish.
Okay,
raised Roman Catholic.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
No, I got that wrong. But wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's this 5'9" guy, but now he's got a silver fox thing going on.
He does,
he was a therapist recently, and it's like, this was Michael Scott. He was also the 40-year-old virgin. Like, this was the awkward guy of Hollywood.
Yeah.
Why all of a sudden is he coming up with like this DILF thing? Oh, because he got charisma. Like,
yes, he does.
He's got that charisma.
Yep. Yeah.
Why do people still love Mel Gibson?
Yes.
After every crazy, because he's got that fucking
He
charisma.
does. Yeah.
Like, you see Mel Gibson, it's like, for every anti-Semitic thing he said and every crazy voicemail he's left, my family still loves getting together on a Saturday night and watching a Mel Gibson movie.
Yes. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It could be Lethal Weapon.
I know.
Patriot.
I love the Lethal Weapon movies. Yep.
Oh, dude, Lethal.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't even have to act. He just gets to play insane.
He's amazing in those
So
films.
good.
Yeah, I haven't seen one for many years now, but I gotta watch it again.
Stu?
Yes. Oh, he was great on Father Stu.
He just knocked it out of. Like,
I know.
So yeah, it doesn't matter what the fuck Mel Gibson does.
Yeah.
Because he's got that fucking charisma.
He does. Yeah.
But Andrew Tate does not have that charisma.
He doesn't have the same way.
So obviously a fucking. If a man can smell the put on, then a woman. Can smell that put on from
it's like you could look at Mel Gibson like in part of his prime, like in the 90s, or even like up to like Braveheart. You see Mel Gibson, and you see the way he talks and carries himself. There is a vastly different masculine feel that he has than someone like Andrew Tate. Or I'd never seen BAP, but like reading BAP and reading these people is like they are overcompensating for something. You watch someone like Mel Gibson in an interview while he was making Braveheart, and everything was like, holy fuck, man, that guy. Like, there's probably like 10 women lining up wanting his baby inside of them. It's like there's something about him that just brings that feel. That thing is phenomenal. You watch, you could see Arnold Schwarzenegger, the same thing. It's his horrible accent. He's really not a good actor. It's like you see Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's a bad actor. Yeah. He has a horrible accent, but then he has like this smile. And the smile that he has draws people in.
Conan the Barbarian.
Yes, yeah.
And Conan the Barbarian is one of the best movies ever fucking made.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, it makes, like, why would there be what's the black guy that plays his tip of my tongue? He plays Darth Vader in Star Wars.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, yeah. I can't think.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name
I
right
don't
now.
know. It's fucking 4:40 in the morning for me. His name is
Yeah,
evading me,
yeah.
but
We got to end
that
soon
guy
for you,
plays
but
Darth
yeah,
Vader. He plays the main bad guy in Conan the Barbarian, and it's like
yeah,
it's such a good fucking movie.
yeah.
It's awful in so many ways, but it's so fucking good.
It is, yes, yeah,
And so it's like, yeah, you see these guys that are like Jack Murphy.
yeah,
Jack Murphy, who it came out that he did porn where he shoved things up his own ass.
yeah,
He wrote
yeah.
articles about how he cuckolded himself, having his wife go out and fuck other dudes off Tinder. And it's like,
Yeah, yeah.
this is not masculine.
It isn't,
It's
yeah.
not, like, okay, you told me when you fucked other bitches off Tinder? Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But you sending your wife out to fuck other men, like,
Yeah, no, that's
you're not going to fight another guy for hitting on your wife.
yes, yeah, yeah. It's ridiculous.
Like there's this video that keeps circulating from like 2 years ago
Mm-hmm.
of some TikToker. He's coming up to this woman who's walking into a restaurant with her boyfriend, and he starts complimenting her. And this boyfriend looks like a goofy ass motherfucker.
Yeah.
He's in denim overalls.
Mm.
He looks like a little toddler. He puts down his drink, throws fucking hands at this dude who's hitting on his girl. He just starts wailing away at the guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't even insult. He just goes to wailing because that's what you fucking do.
Yes, yeah, yeah, of course, yeah.
That's what you fucking do. You don't send your girl to go fuck other dudes. You beat the shit out of them because you're a fucking warrior.
Yes,
you're a fucking
yeah.
alpha male.
Yep,
You'll
yeah.
fuck around if you want to, but that bitch stays locked up.
Yes.
Because that's your bitch.
Yes,
You
yeah,
don't
exactly.
you don't put up with this shit.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you don't write manosphere articles. Or it's like, there was another one, I don't even know his fucking name. He was
Yeah.
like, eating pussy is beta and feminine. Like,
Yeah, what a dumbass. What a dumbass.
what is this, a Sopranos episode?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh no, wow, I can turn on my woman and get her like literally just completely do whatever the fuck I want because oh no,
Yeah.
I ate pussy, the horror. What the fuck is wrong with these people?
No, I know, yeah.
What is
Yeah, yeah. No, that's the way I feel right now.
fellas, don't be Junior Soprano. Actually, be Junior Soprano. Eat the pussy.
Yes.
Eat the pussy.
Eat the
Good for you. It's so much shit gets solved when you do it.
Yes,
Life
yeah.
is so much easier
Yes.
when you eat pussy.
Just gotta eat the pussy, man.
Eat the fucking pussy.
That's what I should title this
She'll
episode.
be happy. She'll do whatever the fuck you want.
Grant is not here
Eat
to
the
stop me. Just call it "Eat the Pussy." Oh man.
You gotta do it.
Yep.
So much shit. When has a woman ever bitched at a dude who eats her pussy?
I know. Yes, exactly. Guys that don't eat pussy, I don't get them. It's like, no, you gotta do that, man. Shit. All right.
Yeah.
I know it's 4 in the morning for
She's
you.
gonna go down on your, yeah,
Yeah.
almost 5. But if I'll leave on this, if
Yeah.
she goes down on your sweaty, nasty fucking cock,
Yes.
you can do it.
Of course. Oh yeah.
It'll save you so much of a headache.
And it's amazing. Like I
you
like
solve
it's
so
actually
many-
enjoyable. Like why wouldn't you eat the pussy? It's an enjoyable
Right?
activity. Yeah.
Like,
I don't get why you wouldn't.
like you achieve so much. You
Yes.
achieve so much, and it's so good to
Yes.
achieve that.
Yeah.
But some men are stubborn, but that is my closing out advice
Yes.
to go to confession,
Yeah.
to repent, and
Yes.
to eat pussy.
Yeah.
That's all I got for you folks. Because I was raised in a South American household.
Mhm.
My Dutch dad was a degenerate. My French grandpa was a degenerate.
Yes.
My mom has encouraged me to fuck around. She has told me that if I cheated on my wife, she would help me out. So, folks, I don't got good advice on how to be a good person,
Yeah.
but I got good advice on how to survive as a bad person. So, see your priest. Talk to your priest.
Yes.
And Christ loves you.
Yeah. Beautiful. All right. I can't even cut to black. I'll let it go until May. I forgot to put up the extra graphic on it. So there's an outro music, you know.
What do you do without Grant? Yeah, let's get some outro music.
Oh, there we go. Okay, let's play it.
Oh, that is so out of tune.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Fuck, I'm fucking this up.
It's like for 20 seconds.
I'm too drunk for that, and that's out of tune.
All
I'm
right.
better at flamenco than that.
All right. Hopefully people enjoyed this episode. It was fun as usual, Jay.
I think that was fucking great, man. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Yeah, it was great.
Man. That was fucking amazing.
I still got one more week without Grant, so
Dude.
if anybody else wants to join next week, you know, it'll be fun.
Dude, I regret that I couldn't fly up to Alaska.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
You know, turns out I was going to go to Israel for my sister's wedding. That didn't happen.
Oh, it didn't? Damn.
Family shit. So
Yeah.
I could have taken a fucking weekend to go to Alaska, but we'll get that shit figured out.
Oh, I know.
We'll
Yeah.
get that going.
There's always time.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Oh, yeah.
You have a great evening. Or
Oh, dude, I'm going to
morning, I guess. It's 5 a.m. Great morning. Bye.